Whoa. Agnew. From the moment I P-I-G-P-O-P-P-A, no info for the PEA, federal agents mad cause of flagrant tap myself and the phone in the basement. My team supreme, stay clean, triple B, medical dream, I'll be that. Can't you see that all the men, cats in the holsters, girls on shoulders, playboy, I told you. Sorry, I got the whole thing. I can do
that
it.
was really good, brother. That was really good. What is up, everybody?
Yeah! Wait a minute. Everybody, you are sitting with 3 2021 Sammy winners. Sammy winners.
This is the most 2020 thing to ever happen, I think.
It is.
Ever.
It is.
You know what I mean, man?
I'm just happy that Gary came. Like, 'cause there was a slight chance that he wasn't going to come
That's what she
tonight.
said.
Gary, you made my night, bro. When you walked through that door, my smile got huge.
Well, I'm glad I came.
Yeah.
I'm glad you came,
I
too.
always am. But no, I wanted to be home, but my wife basically shoved me out the door. Said, go be with your friends, go hang out, do something, and
That's an amazing wife right there.
Yeah, she's.
That is amazing. You better do the dishes tomorrow.
Oh, I do. Well, I mean,
okay,
I'm good.
All right,
yeah. Dude, show your war wounds, man. Show it. Go ahead. Yeah, show your war wounds.
It's not that bad, right?
No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's,
Gary just had surgery.
This one's all healed up.
Yeah,
my elbows are a mess. But
he had carpal tunnel and Lincoln tunnel surgery.
Yep. Yeah, and the Holland Tunnel.
The Holland Tunnel,
Lincoln Tunnel.
All of them. All the tunnels.
Holland Farms Tunnel.
Oh.
Jelly bun, oh, jelly bun.
Jelly bun.
So, if you couldn't tell, I've had way too many seltzers and way too many shots of tequila. But you know what? We're freaking celebrating.
Yeah, you're
together.
hammering that George Clooney today.
Yes, and let's not get.
That's what she said.
Bro, can you believe this? I can't believe this. This is happening. First and foremost, we got to thank everybody that voted for us. And, Gary, I got to thank you, man. Because if not for you, you pretty much don't bring us over the top. It's true.
That's a true statement.
It's a fact of life,
man. That's a true statement.
If we didn't, cross-promote and habilitate, if you will, it would have never happened, and we would have never kicked each other over the top. I think Young Silence would have won, and then Mike would have won on our end.
Right.
And then shout out to Young Silence and Mike's place too, by the way. Mike, we're going to have on the show really soon.
We absolutely need to have him on here.
And I was telling these guys, obviously we couldn't be more different in approach to music in most ways, but we've chatted since day one, and he's a sweetheart of a guy, and he's hustling like crazy.
Yeah.
And talk about somebody that wants it for the right reasons too. He's everything on his page is he's trying to get out of the city and get get a better life for him and his family.
Well, the fact that he's 22 years old and he's hustling like that. I mean, now how many 22-year-olds that are doing that right now? You know what I mean?
Right.
Many.
Seriously, I mean, we talk about it all the time on the show. Hey, we ask everybody that's in here, who's some up and coming artists that you could see coming out, whatever. Yep. And, not many people have anything, but here's this kid, in a hip-hop genre, and he's really trying to make it. He's, pushing himself, and hustling like crazy, and he's got a lot of family support behind him, which is great,
Yep.
So, I mean, I give it up to him, man.
Yeah, for sure. And as far as cross-promotion goes, in the college market, we always deal with, the yearly Campus Activities Awards and some of the organizations that we have to be members of. And, so that's been happening for years. And
right.
From 2011 to 2015, right when I was kind of starting, really getting into it, I was doing a lot of that, and it was so competitive. But at the same time, if you won those awards, you took off, and luckily I won awards, and I got really busy because of it. So I have a couple friends that are, and this is an odd place to receive advice, but they work for. I met them through Sea Shepherd. The animal rights, the whale wars people.
Really?
And she's
interesting.
So her job is to ask for donations. And I put a post up once about an animal rescue. She's like, you're doing this all wrong. Mm-hmm. She goes, you cannot appeal. Just say, please donate to this cause. She goes, you have to talk about how that affects you, how that affects them, and be honest with people. If it means a lot to you, don't be afraid to show that. You don't have to, it's not gushing if you mean it. And but I mean, so I know people busted my chops constantly in my posts because I was always like, I feel bad for pestering people because there's enough.
Yeah,
everyone's
I
got
agree.
30 people on their Facebook getting them to buy, trying to get you to buy the next pill or the facial thing
or
the
make a
rat.
donation or.
So I mean, for anybody to take time out to vote for this thing in general, I appreciate it.
But think about it though. Think about the Facebook algorithm and all the algorithms right now. Like when you post, you're not reaching everybody. You know what I mean? You can have 5,000 friends. You're not reaching all 5,000 friends. So you have to keep posting. You know what I mean? And as much as it's annoyance for people that actually follow you, like I'm one of the people that have you on as a favorite.
Oh, likewise.
Okay, so like every time Gary posts, I get notified on Facebook.
Sorry.
Okay.
I am so sorry.
No, you don't have to be sorry about it. I mean, like, no, I enjoy it. Like, I mean, you're one of my favorite people, so of course I would have you on people, our favorite people. So, like, the bottom line is, though, is that the way the Facebook algorithm goes, unless you have you as a favorite person, you're not seeing all of your posts, you know, and that's just the way it works. So, in order to get people to, to vote and to do all that stuff, you have to post multiple times a day. 7 days a week, as long as you possibly can. As annoying as it might be for some people, maybe it's the first time that the next person's seen it. You know what I mean?
It was like maybe 3 or 4 days before the finals ended. I put something up at like 11 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden I saw 70 new names I haven't seen yet. I'm like, son of a... These people, so I started doing just morning and night for the last week or so.
Right.
And just to get us through it. And I mean, that really helped a lot. But through all those college things, we all just tried our best to help each other and cross promote, and that's why I made the splash page because even if they don't see it on my post or they just happen to see it, and also if you tell somebody talking to a newspaper, you say I got to go to SyracuseAreaMusic.com/peoples-choice.
Right.
Yeah.
Just go to SammyVote.com.
SammyVote.com,
that way it's easy.
The way you made it, it was perfect.
Then when they get there, they can kind of see that we're asking to show some love. And it was.
And the way that splash page was, though, I mean, like you said,
it was genius.
It pushed people to vote for us. You know what I mean? Whereas if you went to the website, okay, it was all these choices. You have to add and subtract, multiply, divide, all that other
Common Core,
Common Core, man. Put it through. I mean, I'm sure it took people like 2 + 2. They had to do 2 - 5 + 6. All that other stuff. Common Core.
Show your work. Yeah.
Show your work. You know what I mean? And then they finally got it. But this way, I mean, you're like, I'm not going to vote for Gary Johnson because he pushed me to this page. So fuck him. I'm going to go and vote for this other guy. But at least this Sammy vote thing, the splash page was like vote for us. You know what I mean? It was like pushing it towards that.
Biggest thing was the well-intentioned people. They vote for us. They hit done. They hit share button from there, and all they just shared was that website with no information about who. Because who am I voting for? I just
but that was the worst part about it was that every time I would share Z would post something with all this beautiful like stuff written about it, right?
Nothing
I would
beautiful
share
in my verbiage.
It was amazing, it was good. It was like it really pushed towards Gary, it pushed towards us, pushed towards Rise and Shine Diner, and I the first time it happened, I shared it, and I clicked on just share now. So I shared now, and I went back and looked later that night, and it was just the link to it. And I'm like, wait, that's not right. So I started because Z's so good about it, and I suck because I have a 3-year-old, and so I have no time. Like he's writing up all these awesome stuff. You got 2 kids. I have no idea how you did it, but I mean, my son is not like any other 3-year-old in the world. He's like legit, like most kids.
I love Oliver's stories,
dude. Oliver, literally, you watch all these kids and they'll all the higher energetic kids. They all fall flat on their face in the living room midday. They fall flat on their face or pass out in the middle of the living room floor. He will not go to sleep unless he's in his crib. So he's balls to the wall 24/7. And we haven't tried it yet. One of these nights, my wife and I are going to see how long he can stay up.
Oh wow!
I mean, because we'll put him in bed, and some nights,
ton of energy.
Some nights some nights he'll sit in his crib like this. He'll sit in his crib and he'll sing songs. He'll do all this stuff until I mean, how many kids that when they go in their crib or they go in their bed, will sit there if they're up and just sit in bed.
That's my 3-year-old. She'll just until I have to go and be like, listen, it's time. Although
we'll let him go. We let him go, and he'll just fall asleep.
We'll listen to her.
Yeah,
and then she'll kind of stop. And I think she'll try to find out if we're listening.
If we're listening, yeah.
Say or do something really funny, and we'll laugh, and then she knows that she has an audience, and then she's just game back.
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, luckily, I mean, Oliver, he puts himself to sleep. It's incredible. Like he'll start singing the ABCs, you know, or start singing like you know, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, you know, whatever. But like there's some nights that he'll pass right out at 7:30, but he's ready for bed then. Like you can tell he's rubbing his eyes. It's like 7:30, he's rubbing his eyes, you know. So we put him in bed at 7:30, and like you know, some nights he'll fall right to sleep, and he won't wake up until I wake him up the next day at 7:30.
Yep.
So he'll get 12 hours of sleep. He's
a great sleeper.
And not wake up. And it's been like that since he was a month old, which is crazy.
You're lucky.
Oh my God, you're not kidding. Like my wife and I get times.
You don't want to have another one just for that fact. Well, because the next one that you have will keep you up all night.
Everybody always says, when are you going to have another one? And I go, fuck off. Just like that. Like, not even. I don't even care. I don't even care. No.
My older daughter, she knows when it's time for bed. She'll say, Daddy, I need to go to bed. She'll go up to sleep. She'll tuck herself.
You and Lauren make beautiful children, by the way. I just want to say.
She did a lot of the heavy.
Well, it's all her.
The heavy lifting, yeah, it was definitely on her for that.
Yeah.
Poor things. They got my height.
They just got your swimmers.
That's it. Just the two.
I think my son might be bigger than both of your kids.
Oh, I'm sure.
He's 3'5.5" tall, weighs 42 pounds.
Oh my God! Already at 3 years old.
Yeah, Leia's like 50 even, and she's gonna be 6 next month.
Right.
So she'll go up. She'll tuck herself into bed. Oh. She'll turn her heater on and her white noise on, and I'll come in and give her a kiss goodnight, and she's done. She comes down in the morning. She's got her bed made. She put her clothes in the pile. She's dressed.
At 6.
She's done this, and she was like, 3. She comes down. She's dressed. Good morning, Daddy. How are you? Then you have another one. And she comes down.
I know my wife is on right. My wife is on right now, going, "You asshole."
Well,
she is on, your wife, by the way. Hi, Jess.
Yeah, she is.
Then there's Aurora, my 3-year-old. She just kind of comes down the stairs, just like. She sits down.
She is too. I love her.
She sits down on the couch.
She's my favorite, by the way.
She opens up a bag of
muffins.
Don't
tell Leia.
She opens up a bag of muffins. They fly everywhere. Eats like one of them. Like. Just leaves the bag and everything there, and then she's just like...
Is Leia, like, mean-mugging her the entire time?
Oh,
she's like, what are you doing?
So then she'll go and, like, she'll clean everything up, but she's the polar opposite. And, like, Leia will come up to me, she's like, Dad... So this is why I was like, I want to have one kid, because Leia will walk out to me, she'll just grab me by the face and be like, Daddy, I just love you so much. You're the best dad.
That's got to make you melt.
And Rory will come up to me, and she'll, like, put her hand on my back and, like, get around me, and she'll go, I doed it. Like, what? She's like... I do it. And they say if you had that kid first, you wouldn't have a second. So
true story, yeah.
But she's sweet as pie, but man, does that kid have fire.
Yeah.
Wow. Man. Hey, I got to give a shout out really quick to Mike Place.
Yeah.
The guy.
Mike's Place, yeah.
Yeah, Mike's Place. Actually, I think that's his last name.
Is it really?
I'm not 100% sure, but we'll find out when we have him on the podcast.
We have to have him on and he was totally cool. Like
he just gave us a shout out, by the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, I just got to say, ladies and gentlemen, like we almost expected this guy to be like, fuck you guys.
Right.
You know, let's fight when we get a chance. We get on, like, we're in the waiting room with this guy, and we're, like, having a conversation. We all have stuff in common with him. We know people that are in common. And, like, he's such a cool dude.
Yeah.
And which, I mean, honest to God, he's a musician. So, I mean, you know, we all expected. I mean, I think we all expected him to be incredibly cool, and which he was. And we had some really good conversations with him. And I absolutely cannot wait to get him on the show. I can't wait.
Absolutely. Huge shout out to Mike and Frostbit Blue. I mean, they've been a legendary band since like the late 80s.
Mike McKay.
Mike McKay.
Oh,
it's Mike McKay.
Mike McKay.
So it's not Mike Place.
No, it's Mike's Place.
Mike's Place show. But I think it's.
Do you want a job?
Sure.
All right, thanks. All right.
You got to pay him though. See, we're not getting paid, and neither is Todd. What the hell are we doing here?
$5 an hour.
I'll take half.
That was minimum wage when I was in high school.
Right, me too.
I know, right?
Anyways, yeah, big shout out to. I mean, he was super cool, and that's how it was when we got into that waiting room. Because it's a virtual platform here on the Sammy's Award. Everybody was in their own respective room.
Sure.
So we were in this room with Mike, and at first when he popped in, it was like, oh man, this guy wants to fight us. and then we got talking to him, and it's like, this guy's super fucking cool.
You know what I think it was? I think it was he was trying to fix like the way it looked on him. So he's like this. He's going.
He was just so mean looking.
He's like this, and I'm like, oh my God, this guy's coming after us. What's happening?
Yeah.
I walked in, and he's like, we're gonna fight somebody. I'm like, wait, what? Who? Gabe? Gabe's not gonna fight anybody. Look at him. He's fucking beautiful. Look at him. He's not gonna fight anybody. Anyway.
Anyways, but big shout out to Mike.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
also Young Silence as well, who was your competitor in the artist category.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was nice to have. I think people on both sides kind of tried to stir some stuff up in the comments. Not like, I shouldn't say try to stir stuff up, but people in the comments were like, "Could it be any more different?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's the point."
Yeah, that's
like,
the point.
That's the
But
point,
that's to be
exactly.
expected, though. But that's to be expected with his fans. I mean, like, you want your fans to be really super passionate about what you do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that's fine. Like, I never, like, I mean, we've all had fans like that in the past.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, everybody else sucks but the person I like. You know what I mean?
Right.
We wouldn't survive without those people. I mean, we need those people too. But it's like there was no point that there's plenty of times he could have hopped on or I could have hopped on and been like, yeah, look at that guy. But I just never got to that point. Never had to. And it was he actually. We were talking today. Chatting about, he's like, hey, if you ever want to collab, do something together. I'm like, I'm up for anything.
Oh my God, how awesome would that be, though? I mean, like you look at it these days. I mean, hip hop has crossed over to so many different genres.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I honest to God, I mean, it would be great. It would be great. I mean, if I had somebody hip hop that wanted to cross over with me, I'd be like, absolutely, let's do this. Let's get together and write. Number one, because I can't write lyrics to save my life. I mean, I wrote If I Fall.
You say this every week, by the way.
I do, but I wrote If I Fall. It took me a year and a half to write lyrics for that song. A year and a half it took me because I wasn't happy. Like I knew the lyrics I wanted to write to the song. I knew exactly what the song was about, but I couldn't make it.
You just have to do what I do and release songs that you're not happy with.
Just start writing with people. Like I don't understand. Like you look at all these famous people and they're all writing with. Like you look at written by so and so and 18 other people.
Hey, you're right.
And it's like, well, why can't I have that? Like, so what you're saying is I can play an E chord and everybody else will write everything else.
Gary,
is that basically what it's going to be?
Have you ever killed a song and then brought it back to life?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, have you?
Yeah, I've every single song that I've ever used. No,
I mean your own though, your own personal.
That too. I've had on my last CD. There's the opening song I've done with 3 bands in 3 completely different ways, and I felt like it just never got a fair shake.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a song that was my last CD, 2 CDs ago. The one that came out in 2010. I released that in 2003, 2005, 2008, and 2010.
No kidding.
And I'm still not happy with it. And I'll probably do it again. And it's just I wrote it myself. I released it completely. Gave it to another guy. He wrote a whole different set of lyrics and melodies, and we released it. Nope. I did it again with another guy. I am in love with this song, and someday I'll get it right.
Well, the whole thing for me is that the reason why I think the reason why I can't write lyrics is because like I could write music right now, like here in front of both of you right now. Mm-hmm. I could write a song.
Yep. Let's do it. Let's right now on the spot. Let's do it.
Well, I need a guitar.
2 Mondays from now, let's bring guitars and we'll write a song.
We'll do it. We'll do it. But the whole thing is like I could literally write musically. I could write a song for you right now, like verse, chorus, bridge. Chorus, out. Okay, legit write a fucking song right now. And I could tell you exactly what it was about. I could tell you exactly what the music feels to me. You know what I mean? Like I could say the music feels like this to me, and this is what I want the song to be about. Bam. You know what I mean? And like because I listen to songs. I mean, for me, songs that I don't like that come out on the radio or people that write songs that I don't like, it's mostly because the music doesn't match the lyrics to me. You know, where the music might be like not sad, but it might be like a not a happy beach song, let's say, okay? And it might be like some kind of melancholy music with melody, but the lyrics are like super happy, and it doesn't match. And it's I don't get that.
I'm twisted, and I love that. Like Pumped Up Kicks.
I hate it.
Pumped Up Kicks. It's like, yeah.
Pump Up Dicks.
Pumped Up Kicks.
No, Pumped Up Kicks.
It's like, yeah.
Pumped Up Kicks.
Killing people. This is great.
I hate that fucking song. I hate it for that reason because that's like the music is so good. It's like it's got that whole like.
It's like a Tarantino movie.
But
yes. Somebody's just slashing away and they just play this beautiful symphony. There's like children singing and like, but it's just somebody just. I love that.
Great
blood
analogy.
everywhere. Yeah, exactly. Gabe, we got to get you on. You want to talk right now? I can tell.
Yeah.
You totally do.
So I want to
come sit on my lap if you want.
Yeah.
It's okay.
All right, so I want to give a shout out. Thank you to Jordan Davies. He's wishing us congratulations, as well as your wife's out there. Both of your wives are out there, so thank you. Motorlord, got to give a big shout out to Motorlord. They were nominated for the best hard rock category. We are Motorlord. They're awesome. Chris Mandry's saying congratulations.
Love Chris
Bad
Mandry.
Justin saying congratulations. Zia Police saying congratulations. So thank you so much.
Bad Justin, how do you feel about butt stuff? Like, really, hashtag butt stuff.
Yeah, if anybody knows about butt
wait a
stuff.
minute. Like Bad Justin's like 50 and he's using hashtags. I can't believe it. I'm so happy
and
about
he knows
that right
about
now.
butt stuff.
And he knows about butt stuff. Well, of course he knows about butt stuff. He's Bad Justin.
Right.
Let's be real here. I'm good Justin. He's Bad Justin.
Did I ever tell you about the time that Chris Mandry showed up to the Crazy Clam for a show dressed as Jesus Christ?
Oh, God.
No, but I need to hear this.
Absolutely.
I need to hear this.
When is Modown?
Modown is usually around Labor Day.
Yeah, was it? Okay.
Or maybe 4th of July.
Okay.
Because there was a couple years they did it right around the 4th of July.
Well, 2 times he surprised me dearly, and one of the times was when he showed up to the Crazy Clam dressed as Jesus Christ.
Okay.
The other time was he left Modown like a day early.
Yes.
But he was still there when he got there.
Oh, yeah. That Molly's a strange freaking drug.
Oh, yeah, it is, sure. For sure.
Mr. Jones was like, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just looking back. I'm like, this is not gonna happen.
What's he trying to play?
Anything. It was all of the songs were at about 15 BPM that night. He was just smiling. Although,
hey, jealousy.
He's checking in right now. He's saying he was fucked up that night.
oh, but I'll tell you what, Chris gets all of the props in the world because my wife and I started dating in June of 2008, and nobody knew about it till the end of August. We just didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
And my band at the time, Morning After, played.
Great band. Oh, my God, I miss that band.
Great band,
brother.
for sure.
Oh, no, I take that back. It must have been Dashboard because Chris.
Also miss that band. Sorry.
So this would have been Dashboard's.
Sorry, not sorry.
Dashboard's first Saranac. And
I was there.
Chris. So my now wife is sitting up on a picnic table in front. She's watching the band all alone. She came with me, but nobody knew that. You know, she kind of just snuck in, and she's sitting there. She wasn't of age at the time. She was like 20, I think. Yeah, she must have been 20. So Chris walks up to her. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" She's like, "Nothing." He's like being all friendly with her, and he's like, "See, I'm the lead singer there. You know, I know him if you want me to introduce you guys." So he like unknowingly like would have set me up with my wife. Like I'm like, he gets all. She's like, "Oh yeah, that'd be great." So he's like, "Hey, come on."
That's a good friend right there. That's a good friend.
Like, yeah. So I mean, had we not already met, that could have been my meeting my wife story could have been through Chris Mandry.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love.
That's outstanding.
For the billions of reasons, I love that man. That's one of them.
I refuse to tell my meeting my wife story.
Why not? Why?
No, I won't do it. Moving right along.
All right.
Awkward silence.
All right. We won't go there.
Nope.
We won't go there. But Mandry's saying he was messed. He said it cemented it.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he. We had so much fun playing together. It was me and Mandry and Maliani, the three of us.
And Dave Miliani's one of the best bass players.
Oh my God,
around, bro.
It was just like, all right, go. It was like, all right.
And
All right, go.
Those two together are musical soulmates.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know what I love? You know what I love about Dave though?
Yeah.
I know what I love about Dave is that like he's in a band and then all of a sudden he disappears from like
And you don't see him.
from anything. You don't see him at all. Like for like years you won't see him, and then all of a sudden it's like bam, he's in another band.
I don't know if I've ever met a pair of musicians that have their kind of
Chemistry and shit. Yeah.
I mean, like you and
Sure.
Sean are like, it's incredible.
Yeah.
But those two are just like, it's eerie.
It is.
I've
Yeah.
never seen two people
It
lock
really
in.
is.
Like
Sure.
I would just communicate.
It's amazing
with
to hear that with the rhythm section too.
And
you know?
I would just communicate with one of them because I would just kind of turn to Dave and show him something. And because when I started playing with him, I mean, they bailed me out of a huge bind, and they had no time to practice. So we played a show, and Dave's playing stuff he had never. I mean, Dave had never played Cult of Personality before. Like, it just wasn't his thing, you know?
What a great song. What a great bass line.
So I would just, like, turn to him, and Bandry was just locked right into everything that he did. It's crazy. It feels like it was probably, 18 years ago?
Those two are
17 years
just
ago?
joined at the hip
Oh, yeah.
together, though. They really are.
For sure.
Like,
Love them.
incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, do you guys know what happens? Like, I want that fucking trophy.
I'll drive to Syracuse and get it tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. Like, let's road trip.
I'm halfway there.
Yeah, let's all do it. But I told.
Do you know what happens though right now? Like what happens? They didn't give us any kind of instructions.
No instructions, and I found out that I got to pay for my own trophy because one's got to stay here, so I got to pay for it.
I'm gonna pay for it.
You don't have to pay for
I'm
shit.
paying for yours.
You don't have to pay for it
because I'm the one that got you into this mess.
I know, but I got to. No, it was my idea.
I'm gonna get.
It was my idea.
I got you into this mess.
I know, but I just want one for my studio. So like, it should be there. Like, like.
For an idea.
We were talking about this though. It's like I've been playing music for 27 years, and the first award I win is for nothing to do with playing music. Yeah. Nothing to do with playing music on my end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've had so many moments like that. Like I found out yesterday that I was featured on ET Entertainment Tonight online.
What?
I was featured on one of their huge article.
I never knew that.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that the other day. And you know what it was for?
What's this for?
For picking on Michael Bublé on Instagram.
Oh, I saw that. Yes, I did see that. Yeah, that was incredible, by the way. That was a
big vault. Huge Instagram following.
I was featured on the cover of Time.com.
Wow.
Time magazine, front page of Time.com for a video I took of a.
Yeah, the meat vault.
No, that was the Time.com was for a picture I took of a video of a squirrel eating pizza.
Wow.
Yep. So like all these time, like I put all this time and effort into like being good at things, and like I just crawl on the ground and take a picture of us.
I don't feel so bad now, but I mean the fact of the matter is that you're verified now.
You are You got
You're
the
verified.
check mark?
You have the check mark.
Yeah, I got the check mark on Facebook.
How does one get a check mark?
So
you got to be Gary Johnson. That's how you get the check mark.
Yeah.
It happened a while ago. There was a point on Instagram on Facebook when I was like 16, 17,000 people.
Wow.
And when I was on tour, but I just Facebook went through and it was a ton of inactive profiles, and so I'm down to like 10 something now. But the biggest thing was because I have such a common name, there was a need for it, like to separate me from the rest. So
right.
If my name was Justin Smith and there weren't 1,000 of me, I probably wouldn't have gotten it so fast. And I've been pending on Instagram for like 4 years. Like it's just constantly in review. So.
And you finally got the check.
Well, the funny thing was, though.
I think
on Instagram.
I don't know if I have Instagram. I actually don't even know about Twitter anymore.
On all those social media profiles,
I'll have to check.
Have you ever noticed you can't? There's no phone number.
Okay, for anything on the internet.
Are you ready for this though? So my mother, okay, I feel so bad for her because like my mom is that type of person that and I can say this because she's not up right now. But anyway,
give your mom some love, dude.
I love my mother. I love my parents, and I'll tell you this right now. But they're both the same way. Well, first of all, my dad Todd he's a stalker. He's a Facebook stalker. So like literally, like he made a Facebook profile so he could spy on everybody.
Okay.
Right, and he's like, oh, I hate what this guy posts, and I'm like. So unfollow him. I don't want to unfriend him. I go, no, just unfollow him. And he's like, well, yeah, but then I won't see what he writes. And I'm like, well, that's the point. If you don't like what you're seeing, so whatever. So my mother, like, like you're on the computer or the phone and like shit pops up, right? She doesn't read anything. She just starts clicking. You're bothering me. I'm trying to get to what I'm trying to watch, and there's all these pop-ups coming. She's clicking, and then she's like, I don't understand why my Facebook just got deleted. So now there's pictures of my nephews, who were born premature. And like all these pictures that she had on her Facebook that was like, I mean, and this is legit, serious, horrible shit. And somebody hacked her profile, and like she doesn't remember any passwords. She can't log in to her Facebook. She had to make a whole new profile and lost all of those pictures and all of those memories that she had.
Wow.
Because she couldn't get a hold of anybody. There's no phone number. There's nothing.
And that's the end of it, or is it no resolution?
There was no resolution at all. I mean, she wrote emails, she wrote messages.
Both of you, everyone watching this, go to Facebook settings. There's a way to download your whole Facebook. I do it once a month. You can download every message, every like, every post, every picture, everything. So if Facebook goes away, you can download. You have it forever. Because I mean, I have friends who passed away in conversations and stuff that would just be gone the way they are on MySpace. I mean, that's it's kind of funny to talk about that, but I mean, another thing that sucks is when MySpace was a thing, there was a point where I was getting 1 million plays a day.
Come on.
Yes.
On MySpace?
Oh, yeah.
Were you really?
I remember that.
It was insane. I mean, I had a song, that song that I'm talking about that I released 8 times. We did it with the band the morning after, and I released it on there. It was getting like 1 million. There was like 40. When they cleared everything off MySpace, I think there's still like 40 something million views on that one song, whatever. But it was just nuts. All that time and all that effort to get that to happen, and then it's just gone. So
all of those profiles are still there. Like I can't log out of my profile because I don't remember my password. And like you have to do something like show your ID or like take a picture of this to get there, and it's like it's so much issue, you know what I mean, to get back out of MySpace. But like it's so funny. Like remember you used to have like top 10. Yeah. Or top 5 friends.
That was the thing is I got into a couple top 8s that were like people like
top 8s. Yeah,
people put me on their profile that were getting high activity, and that's why I got all the plays. So like, but so just to have lost all that in the blink of an eye. And Ant Cosmo was another one. He was getting millions.
Oh yeah. He was.
That was. I mean, he got a lot of. We've.
How's your George Clooney?
Yeah, you want one?
No, absolutely not. No, I'm good, thanks.
So we lost all that in the blink of an eye. So with Facebook, I just try to back everything up. And
but it's in Facebook settings, though.
Yeah, you can go right in settings and download. You can download your whole Facebook.
By the way, I just figured out how to like. For years, it was Facebook Messenger had dark mode. Okay, and like everybody's waiting for it to come to Facebook. And once it happened, nobody talked about it. I just found out today that Facebook has dark mode.
See, I have an Android. I just click dark mode and it makes all my apps automatically.
Well, yeah, but Facebook actually has a setting.
I have no idea. I didn't even know that.
So you have an iPhone, right? You have an iPhone. So check it out. Ready?
My Android can supersede that and just automatically get
so check it out. Android. So you go down to your settings, right? Settings. Go into your settings here, and then like one of the first thing. Wait. They're right there. Before settings, it's right there. Dark mode. And so you could choose it to go with like your system. So like my system, like when it's dark out, it's dark mode. If it's light out, it's light mode. You know, you can set it up like that, or you can set it dark mode all the time. And so like I just found out today, and apparently it's been a thing for a while. So I don't know.
Yeah, no doubt. Gary, you know what I want to talk about?
Yeah.
You mentioned Anton Cosmo. I want to talk about your time with Cosmo.
Okay.
What kind of experience was that? I mean, because you're talking national touring
huge.
Artists right now.
I love those pictures, by the way.
And for them, first of all, when you get that call, what's that feeling like? And then when they bring you on the road, like, what's going through your head at that point in time?
So that is a really long story, but I can tell a shorter version.
We could tell a long story too, bro.
When I loved Boston. When I was like 8 years old, I found Boston and I went nuts.
Who didn't?
I remember learning those freaking at the time, primarily the first album and part of Don't Look Back, just learning them note for note. And about I always joke with Justin about this. Like everybody's got an uncle that does something. Like my uncle is best at this. Well, my uncle is literally a world-class guitar player who's still on the road with Fran now. And
your uncle is?
Yep. He plays with Fran. He plays with like Bobby Kimball. He's
on the Rock World Tour then.
Yeah. He'll do some shows with that. And he does.
Oh wow.
But he just got called to do a bunch of tour support.
What's his name?
My uncle, Mick Brooks.
Okay.
You might even. I mean, he's been around forever. But he just did tour support for Mark McGrath of Sugar Ray.
Oh wow.
He was doing like a cover show. He was playing like Kiss and stuff. It was great. So he shows with Denny Lane. So this is the guy that when my parents were in a band, he would come over to the house and from 5 years old on, he would just bring his guitar, and we would sit up till 1 a.m. and play guitar all night. That's why I can play. You know, that's all I've ever done. So he got in a band with Fran in 95 would have been. This is 93. So this
in Boston.
No, this is right as Fran.
It's Cosmo.
This is like he and Fran started to kind of play, put some stuff together. This is right after Fran got the Boston gig, right before he went to go record Don't Look Back.
Okay.
Or Walk On.
Walk On, yeah.
So I got to meet Fran for the first time when I was like 11. I showed up at his house. He's in now. I was over in Ballantyne Bray. And I walk up in the driveway, and I'm like getting ready to meet a god. And I was so excited. And he just walks to the end of his driveway, literally in a T-shirt and like gym shorts. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, this is the coolest fucking guy I've ever met in my life. And he's like, well, do you want to hear some stuff that I'm working on? Brings me in the studio, like opens everything up. And I was like 11, and he never talked down to me. He was never like, oh, that's cute. You're a guitar player.
That's cute.
And so he said, hey, we're doing a session this weekend. Why don't you come back? I was like, cool. So we came back that weekend, and they had a bunch of local guys were there, and obviously Ant was there. Bill Carmen, Tom Moonen, who recently passed.
Oh my God.
Everybody was there. And this, I remember the studio was like the size of the Stanley. And now, as an adult, you can drive back by, and it was a third of the side of this room. But an 11-year-old kid, it was the biggest place I've ever been in my life. And they had this Mackie mixer, all just in a 16-bit ADAT, and they were making these killer fucking songs. And, 3 of which ended up on a Boston album eventually. That they recorded in that little garage in that little Mackie mixer. So
the one on Sunset Ave.
That was Ants.
That's Ants.
That's Ants.
Right next to the old school.
That was Ants. We made some great stuff there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for this is over on Valentine Bray before Fran's.
Gotcha. Yep.
Fran doesn't live in the city anymore. He's out up in the hills. So I got to watch all these songs, and I would go to their practices and I'd watch them rehearse. And one time, they just broke into Peace of Mind, and Fran sang it. And I was like, oh my God. So in 1994. We got tickets to go see Boston at the State Fair. And I got Ants tickets by accident.
Ooh.
So Mick and I sat front row center, splitting Brad Doubt's mic. I mean, from me to you away. And Ant was, he wasn't in the nosebleed section, but he was like 15 rows back.
Yeah, sure.
And it was just awesome. And
Brad used to sing like up on the mic too, didn't he? Like it was like weird, like maybe it was an angle that I saw, but it always seemed like he was singing up on the mic.
Sometimes. I don't know if that's
like like they always say that like in singing that you should sing almost down, like, you know what I mean, because if you sing up it strains your vocal cords.
Yeah, I don't think.
But I feel like that the videos I saw that he was more facing up. Yeah.
And he again, I got to meet him then, and he was the biggest sweetheart. I mean, he's backstage, and there's all these people everywhere trying to meet him, and he was focused on me. Talking to me like I was a human being, not
that's so awesome.
11-year-old kid who was just obsessed with Boston. So after that, obviously, my father had the foresight to say, "Listen, I love that you love to play Boston the guitar. You play it great, but I probably know 8 people in this town that can do it too.
Yeah.
If you want to get involved, which my dream at that point was to play with Frank Cosmo. If you want to get involved, learn the stuff on piano.
Right.
Learn foreplay long time.
Foreplay long time.
In the door. So." I, at that point, decided with my baby hands I was going to try to figure out how to play foreplay long time. And I eventually did. So,
you got Elton John hands, though. Elton John has the same hands.
Yeah, they're tiny.
They're tiny. He does, but like you watch Elton John play, I mean, he's got little tiny hands, same thing.
Yeah, that's what I did was I was playing with a band called 24/7 at the time out of Rome. Was Billy Carmen.
I remember them, yeah.
And Dave Palace. And at the time, again, there was also
Hey, mister. Sorry.
No, it's okay. That was... and all those guys were in Fran's band. Tom Moonen, Billy Carmen, Mick Brooks, and myself. Yep. And we shared a practice hall with Cosmo. So we would get done playing, and Cosmo would be, like, the next slot.
Yeah.
So I would just, like, take my time tearing down,
Oh,
and
sure.
One day, I went back in. I got bold. I went back in. I'm like, I forgot my keyboard. And Fran's like, why don't you stay and jam one? I'm like, oh, really? Yeah, sure, I guess. And I played foreplay a long time. He was like, why don't you come to the studio tomorrow? And here's me. I'm like, okay. So I get out to the car. I'm like, hey, Dad, can you drive me to Utica tomorrow? Because I couldn't drive. I was 15. So so my dad gave me a ride at the Fran's studio.
It's amazing, right?
And we sat in his living room, and he wrote this song. And I was like, this is great. And we just got right to work. And from there forward, I was, still in high school, all through high school. I was playing with Fran. I tell my buddies, yeah, I'm playing with a guy. Yeah, sure, whatever. Of course you are. So when I graduated, I started college, but within 3 months, I was like, this is not for me. I started working with Fran. I was in a studio 11, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Wow.
What a life,
I lived in Sylvan Beach, and he was up in the hills, like up Marcy Way.
Yeah.
So that was before the 49 extension. So this is all the way through the beach, all the way through Rome.
Oh, yeah.
49 in the Marcy Business District, past the Stripper Station at 45.
Yeah.
So just like the whole way to get there. But every day was just to get there. And like, every time I pulled up, I'm like, this is Frank Cosmo's house.
Yeah.
So we recorded.
And this is what you want to do. This is what you want to do. This is what everybody wants to do. You know what I mean? You're living the dream.
Are made of.
Yep.
You're living the dream right there.
Yep.
We recorded. We released. I'll have to play you guys privately. We probably did. Fran and I probably did 13 or 14 songs.
Oh my God.
Ant and I probably did 80 or 90.
Yeah.
Wow.
His musical IQ is off the fucking charts.
And we had
it really is.
The reason that I've always worked with those guys so well is we speak the same language.
Mm-hmm.
They speak a unique language that I have from growing up around them learned to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So Frank could say, I want it to sound like X, and it would be like, what? But I know exactly what he means.
Mm-hmm.
So I would show up to Ant's house. I mean, so I worked with each of them independently. They didn't really work together for a very long time. So I'd go to Ant's house or Fran's house all day. I'd leave Fran's at midnight. I'd go to Ant's and be there till 6 in the morning. But Ant and I would leave from midnight to 6. We finished a whole song. You know?
Sure.
Or we'd do 2 songs. And just
Yeah.
he would write these. I'd come back the next day and it was all sung and done. All right,
Very industrial. It's like that industrial.
Well,
vibe
the best thing about Anton too is that dude's gonna be 95 years old and still look like he's 24.
Yeah, right.
Not even kidding. He never had
you're
plastic
right,
surgery
you're
in his
right.
life. He looks the same age.
I'll tell you what.
All the time.
So 2006, we started doing some shows. We did a show at the showroom to kind of kick everything off. And it was just, that room sounds great. It was just this awesome experience. And that show, I didn't play with a band. I came out and did Smokin', Foreplay a Long Time, and that was it. So
Was that the band Cosmo?
That was Cosmo.
Okay, that was Cosmo. I remember that gig. Yeah.
2000, late 2007, he gets a hold of Barry Gaudreau, who was the original guitar player for Boston.
Yep.
Who played Tom Scholes owns the name. He wrote all the stuff. Barry Gaudreau's the guy that played the solo Foreplay a Long Time, like Hitch a Ride. Like, as far as like the technical prowess, he was the lead guitar player.
Sure.
So he called. We did a thing at the Capitol Theater in Rome. Finale did sound. You know, we did everything right. We had Barry come in. He brought his original. His original SG that he played on the record, and the original 100-watt hand wire plexi that he used on the record.
Shit.
And that was the heaviest thing I've ever lifted in my life.
Yeah, sure.
And,
Yeah, because it's from like the 70s.
and he shows up with no pedals, and we're like,
What are you doing, dude?
He's like, trust
I got
me.
this.
I got
He
this.
plugs it in and just plays a chord. We're like,
That's it.
like
That's
already,
it.
like it was the fingers and so he literally had a delay pedal, not even a boost. He's like, I don't need it. He just with his volume, it was either clean or full on. Like, and we did that show at the Stanley, and it was just from there forward, or at the Capitol. Therefore, it was just through the roof.
Yeah.
So we started doing one-offs every couple of months, and then started.
Was Barry with you the whole time?
He was. He wasn't. He.
Okay.
Anything in the Boston camp gets very complicated very fast.
I'm gonna leave you too.
It was about to be a. It was about.
When
to
you
be,
come back, I'll be. Yeah.
It was about to be a big legal battle. So we did like 3 or 4 shows with Barry, and then my uncle came back in and took his place willingly and very capably.
Yeah.
And then we just went out on this national tour. We did a lot of shows with Kansas and REO.
Was that before or after Brad passed away?
This is before. So
Before, did he ever show up, or did he ever
he didn't, but he was
come in contact,
He was
or
a really big fan of Ant and Fran's music.
He loved Fran. He loved Fran so much. I mean, you could see if you guys ever at home, if you ever go on and watch any Boston videos on YouTube that have Brad and Fran, like Brad, it got to the point where Brad couldn't sing like the really super high stuff, and Fran would do it. So like they would be playing along, and would get to that high part, and he would. Like Fran would hit the note, and then Brad would just come and just hug him.
He'd run up behind him and he'd like point down.
He'd
to his head,
point down to him, and he would just give him the biggest hug. And like what a selfless person, you know what I mean? Like honestly, he could have been this egomaniac that he could have lip synced like he was actually doing it, and Fran would have been doing it, and nobody would have noticed any different. You know what I mean? But he didn't. He pointed out that it was Fran that was doing those notes. You know what I mean? And that was that was Brad's, demeanor. That was the way he was, And
they've been close. I mean, they were in bands in '81. I think the first time they played together.
Brad and Fran.
Yeah, they were in and out of projects together, and they've just they were friends for 30 plus years.
Wow.
And so Brad was a really big fan of Fran and Ant's music.
Yeah.
He loved that what we were doing is because Boston was out there playing with electronic drums. They were all using Rockmans, which is just not real guitar amps.
Right.
And
I can't imagine how thin that sounded.
It was tough. I mean,
live,
it barely got the job done.
Right.
But they had the name, and that was what sold. But we were out there with Marshalls and drums, and just all playing our hearts out, and it was which was great. And I think everyone in that camp, other than the guy that owned the name,
Right.
appreciated that we were doing it, just doing it justice. So
Just trying to keep the music alive.
Yep, and it was just to do these festivals and 20, 30,000 people.
Yeah.
And to have Kansas open up for us was crazy.
Great
To have, and I'll never forget the first big show that we ever played together was a show in St. Petersburg with Barry. Mm-hmm. Pat Orlowski was drumming with us at the time. And I remember Pat and I we walked around all day. It was the most beautiful day in Clearwater, Tampa. Or Clearwater.
St. Pete's.
St. Pete's. Yeah. And it was just like the perfect day. And we got to finish it off by walking out on stage and playing with these guys.
Yeah.
And we closed off with More Than a Feeling. And it was just to hear that one was like 15,000 people in that audience.
Wow.
How many people singing that song was just like.
Sure.
Is incredible, and to see their faces, like you could see the flashbacks in their faces.
But you feel it too. There's 15,000 people singing the same words. You feel that on stage.
You feel the
vibrations on stage.
And the best, one of the biggest shows we ever played was Taste of Minnesota. I ever played with them was Taste of Minnesota. That was with Kansas and REO Speedwagon, who went after us. Who again, I have to say,
went after you?
Yeah. Oh, dude. At first I was like, really? But
what do you mean?
You forget how many hits they have. It was just smash hit after smash. I mean, granted, we played.
What do you mean? They went after you. Okay, they went after you. Okay, on the night. Yeah, okay, they closed out the night. Gotcha.
Yeah, so, but I mean, again, to close out, play More Than a Feeling with 40,000 people singing at you, it was just like it was a drug that I couldn't. It was never going to come down from. So, it was. But eventually it got to the point where I wasn't going to get anywhere further with that band,
right? And
it kind of stopped feeling like real life. Like it was almost too good.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. We were at a show in Kansas City, Power and Lights District, which is kind of similar to what they do with Saranac.
Yeah.
But they closed off this whole part of town, and we played. And afterwards, we were signing stuff, and I signed. Somebody hands me the original vinyl, and I sign it, and the guy's like, what was it like to be the original keyboard player in Boston?
Oh, God.
I'm 24.
I was just about to say, I'm 20 years old.
I'm like, my dad was 19 when this came out. Like,
wow.
So I was like, maybe this isn't like helping me.
Sure.
It was a great experience. I love it. But so that's when I kind of started the back out of that and started the college thing. But I still recorded Fran. I have a Fran and I. We'll be getting together very soon and working on some new stuff.
Really?
He's dying to write. He wants to.
I just want to hang out with him.
Me too, man.
Okay, I got to tell my story real quick. Okay, because I
love this story, by the way.
You have okay. There's two stories I have with Fran. Okay, and you have to understand. You spent a lot of time with Fran. Okay, I knew Fran as the lead singer of Boston. And I was starstruck, no matter what. Okay,
I still am.
So, I am as well. Okay, so the very first meeting I had with Frank Cosmo, because I never knew what he looked like, was I was 16.
You didn't know what he looked like?
No, because it was before internet, before all that stuff.
Gotcha,
you know what I mean? So I just heard voice. You know what I mean? So
back in my day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So it's 1995. Uh-huh. We're at Bob Acquaviva's studio recording our album. It was Jose, Joe, John, and I. It was 1995. We had been together for a year, and we're recording original songs. And so we're upstairs. Bob had the pool table downstairs and the pinball machines. So I hear the doorbell ring and I go, I got it. Because I'm cool now. I'm in the studio. I'm recording. I'm 16. I'm recording. 15, 16. I'm recording. So I walk up. I open the door. I'm like, what's up? He's like, I'm here to see Bob. I'm like, all right, come in. Like this, I'm trying to be cool. I'm walking him up the stairs like I'm tough shit, I walk up.
Like you work there.
Yeah, I walk. Yeah, exactly. I walk in the control room. All the guys in the band are sitting there. Now, I'm the youngest, so, of course, I have no idea what Frank Cosmo looks like, but they do. So I walk in. I'm like, hey, this guy's here to see Bob. And they're all like this. Right? And they're like, he's in the other room. I go, all right. Yo, Bob, this guy's here to see you. Oh, thanks. Hey, Fran, what's going on? I mean, I still didn't put it together. I walked back into the control room. The guys are like, you know who the fuck that was? I go, who? They're like, Frank Cosmo. I go, shut up. I go, no way. No, it's not Frank Cosmo. No way. Yeah, it's Frank. Yeah, it's Frank Cosmo. Now I feel like a complete idiot because here I am. And I'll tell you this right now. I will tell you this right now. That was the last time in my life that I ever played like Mr. Cool. ever in my life. That was the one ego trip that I had. And from then on, I refuse to ever have that. So, second quick story. First show out of quarantine.
Right, I remember this.
First show out of quarantine. I play at Cavallo's, right? And it was the most surreal thing in the world because I was so happy to get back out and play live. It had been so long, you know what I mean? And I'm used to playing like every day in some bar or some place, you know what I mean? And so Cavallo's asked me to come play. It was the first show out of quarantine. And I get up there and I play a song, get done with a song, and it was crazy because all these people in the audience were like this. They're like, I get done with a song, they're like looking around. Nobody knew what to do. And like I'm like literally, it's okay, you can clap. You know, you're not gonna get in trouble for clapping. You know what I mean? Like, but nobody knew what to do. You know. And all of a sudden, up the back steps, like didn't even come through the main entrance, up the back steps, and then walks Frank Cosmo. Wow. And I'm going, shit. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Just play. Just play. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Just play. I'm playing like James Taylor. I'm like playing stuff. I'm like doing my thing. Of course, I'm playing songs that I can sing really well. I'm not playing stupid songs.
Yeah. You got to go into your bag of tricks.
I'm doing like my bag of tricks that I do like the last 5 songs in the last set. You know, I'm doing them all right now. Yep. Right? So the funniest part about this whole thing was that never once did I speak to him that night. However, now, him and I have been friends on Facebook for like 10 years. Yeah, for sure. As long as Facebook's been alive, I requested Fred as a friend, and he accepted me as a friend. I'm like, okay, never met me, I never met him. Well, except for that one time at Ock Rock. But anyway, I'm sure he doesn't remember it. So, you know, he gets done, he walks out, he's like, great job. And I'm like, thanks, man, appreciate it. Thanks for coming, you know. Try not to be like, oh, my fucking God, that was glad you're here. You know, I'm like, thanks for coming, man. It's great. It's awesome. You know, he walks out, right? So apparently he posts on Facebook. I don't know if it was a video or a picture. He posted like a picture, and he said, you can say what he said.
More or less, he was like, yeah, finally out for dinner, you know, got a nice night with Sandy, and this guy is great. I'm like, yeah, that's Justin Smithson. Like, I tagged you right away. And I'm like, dude, did you see this? And you were so excited. You was
I couldn't believe it.
It was literally adorable.
And everybody's writing on his page. That's Justin Smithson. You don't know who he is. I'm like, oh my God, Fran. Everybody's telling Fran about it. Oh my God, it's crazy. I'm like 15 years old again. I'm 15 years old again. Like I get a redo. After my egotistical maniac at 15 years old. I finally get a redo with Fran. I'm like, oh my God.
This summer, shortly after that, Justin. So Fran and Sandy went out, you know, a couple times this summer, which is awesome that they actually got a chance.
Yeah, right, yeah. Because Fran's on the road all the time. Fran is on the road all the time.
So he actually has the chance to be out. So he came to see me at the Boondocks up in. I
love that place. We played there 100 times. Lions Falls.
Lions Falls. Yeah, there it goes. And so his wife, she's like, "Play Staying Alive by the Bee Gees." I'm like, "You fucking kidding me right now?"
I hate you.
And I'm like, I'm not doing that for your husband. He's like, oh, come on, do it. I'm like,
only if you sing it.
Like, that's what I said. He's like, no, you do it. Like, and it's because I mean, if I would have said only, I didn't tell anybody who he was. I mean, up there it was. This is all these guys came out of their ATVs. They weren't in the know.
And they would have no idea who he was. He'd be like, that's Frank Cosmo. He'd be like, so give me a bud.
I did it. And he was like, you're such a good sport. I'm like, thank you for not hating me after that. So it was awful. I'm like, this is going to be terrible. Let's do it. Like, that's, most people wouldn't, but I did that because I'm not that good. I don't care. So we got done, and he just pulled out away. I'm like, do you guys know who that is, by the way? They're like, no. Excuse me. Before that, on the way out, like, I was down on the ground messing with my pedals, and he's like, hey, play Peace of Mind. So I started playing Peace of Mind. He just started singing along with me.
Oh, my God.
Everyone in the bar. Now, this is no mics, nothing. He's not even facing the crowd. He just starts singing along, and everybody's like, oh. So he leaves, and everybody.
How do I book that guy, the owner said?
He just pulls out of the driveway. I'm like, by the way, that was the lead singer of Boston. They're like, where'd he go? I'm like, yeah, he's gone. I know better.
Long gone.
Yeah, he's gone. Oh, yeah. But I'll tell you what, something about Frank Cosmo, 2 things that people might not know is, one, for being a skinny dude, that dude can fucking eat. I mean,
no shit. Well, he is Italian. I mean,
and can he fucking cook? He has to be the best cook I've ever encountered.
Really?
In my life. Oh, wow. His sauce. We were at his house in Valentine Bray one time, and Sammy Hagar left him a voicemail. like talking about it, like I gotta come on, I gotta get this famous Cosmo sauce. I keep hearing about, but oh my god, it was remarkable. But we would go, we'd work in the studio all day. And if you mention Pelletary Joe's to him, still, this is probably 2005 or 4 this happened. If you mentioned it 17 years later, he'll just go, oh, because we would go, he would just order. Before, he's like, all right, just give me an order of pork chops and a thing of greens and some fried peppers, and, meatballs, and then what do you want to eat? Like, that was for the table. This is for the two of us.
This is the appetizer.
There's like 2 loaves of bread.
Oh, yeah.
Just go back
you got to order that every time you go to Pelletary Joe's.
Just be back at the studio, just laying there, like wanting to die. Yeah. So, but yeah, dude can eat. But time for tour, he gets his freaking rollerblades out and goes back down 80 pounds, whatever he is. He's and to speak about, you mentioned Anton never freaking ages. Neither does he. We'd be on the road. First thing in the morning, he's up and out of the hotel room. Yep. He's running through the airport. He's on stage. He's whipping his mic stand around. Yeah. And here's me, 24. I'm just like, all right.
Yeah. His voice never ages either. His voice never ages either. I mean, like, Fran still sounds the same. He doesn't, like, like, you ever see, like, guys when they get older, they get that like, they always start singing, like, slower. Like, they'll do everything slower, and they'll have way more vibrato. They'll be like,
He wants to,
and, like, he doesn't do that. You know what I mean?
If Fran had his way, he'll record, like, a freaking Tool CD. He's such a hard rock. Like, if you ever, so we did a CD in 2006 called Cosmo. On Frontiers Records.
Yeah. Go on.
With, which is, Frontiers famously is the Journey. They're still putting out AOR music to this day. And it was... that was a collection of stuff that we had done, either Fran and us, and as well as Anton, some of his solo stuff he did with Fran, and they kind of just put it all together into a collection. But some of those songs were just freaking full on.
Straight hard rock songs.
Yeah, I mean, it was diesel amps and mesas and angles and just 1,000 guitars with full distortion. My buddy Kevin, who played on my last 2 CDs. Kevin Safara played drums in those, and he's just, he's the one that was in Breaking Ben. And again, so they brought in the right guy for the job, so it's just these smash rock hits, and Fran singing up in the stratosphere, and the networks, the label's like, great. So when it came time to do another album, they're like, can you just give us like a Boston album? And of course, we had that elements to it, but if Fran had his way, it would just be freaking, everything would be on 10, and the vocals would be through the roof. And I love that about him, because some people are just like, they kind of, like I said, start to slow down and go acoustic and go soft. He wants more.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. And I can go on for days. I basically have.
Yeah. It's amazing, though. And he's still legendary, like, still doing his thing. He goes out and does these, like, classic rock cruises, and, like, he's out there doing the beach tours and whatever. And like, here he is, like, hometown hero, doing great things. Orion the Hunter was, like, a legendary band. And then that's actually what's, led him into Boston, of course.
Do you have, it's funny, if you talk to people of a certain age range, did you ever see Fran's one-man band?
No, I haven't.
If you ever,
it's freaking
okay. If you ever get a chance, talk to somebody like about like after over the age of, I'd say 40, 45 probably. So this would have been like late 80s. Fran did a one-man band thing. He had a bunch of sequences. He brought a guitar. He'd come out and he'd do separate ways. I mean, he'd just rock all these songs that no one else on the planet could sing. It'd just kill them. It's amazing. So. Yeah, again, I could go on for hours.
I bet, man. What a great experience for you, especially being at 24 years old. Though.
That was my dream. Like, I mean, I started playing. The first time I played with him, I was 15, and it's.
You were 15 years old.
Yep. And I mean, it was just from the go. It was never a point like of I'm here and you're here. It was just we came in and we worked and we spoke the same language from the go. And I mean, he taught me unbelievable. I mean, he taught me more than I could ever put into words. And it's and the good and the bad. Like, and I say the bad as in like he has a certain old school mentality.
Oh, for sure.
And a great way about like how he approaches sound. And it's great until you try to. It's just a level of perfection that's impossible to achieve. Mm-hmm. And he can get damn close, and I can try. So when I get done, I'm like, still not there. So I have to force myself to give up, which we were kind of joking about before we went on there, kind of giving up on a song rather than when it's time to release it, like, all right, this is as good as it's going to get, let it go. But, yeah, he just has that was my dream when I was a kid. So, like, anything after that is just a bonus. Like,
right.
Like, winning a Sammy Award. There's no. Well, I remember being like 16, hearing about that. I'm like, there's no way I would even put my hat in the ring against those guys from Syracuse because it's such a tight knit culture out there too.
Seriously, bro, I agree with you.
And I still don't know who put my name in the hat or however that worked out, but I can't believe that happened. I still can't. It's like I said, it might hit me tomorrow, or maybe it won't. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? It might hit you. Yeah. What do you think the best advice Frank Cosmo's ever given you?
There's a couple things.
Yeah.
The first thing is don't worry about which is a little bit cliche, but the booze and the girls and the drugs. That do the work, be really good, and then those things will afford you any of the other stuff that you want.
They'll kind of fall into place.
Don't show up to practice and get wasted and get stoned and think that's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Be really good, and then you'll see what a real good time is. So, like, that mentality, he was never about the rock star life, anything. He was always happily married. I mean, just that was a huge thing. But just his love of music in general, not just his kind of music or anything, just appreciating something about every kind of music. So, I mean, it was just, he was talking about how, songs, he doesn't like when songs have a certain vibe, they feel a certain way and sound a different way. I don't care if they're singing about what they put in their garbage last week and what it smelled like the following week. If it sounds good, I'll listen to it for days. Mm-hmm. You can sing it about. But
well, I'm the same way though. It's just like my wife like listens to lyrics and that's it. Like for her, a good song is good lyrics.
That's how my wife is. Yeah.
Okay, and I understand that, but like for me, like I won't even focus on the lyrics. You all right?
You're right.
Okay. I won't like focus on the lyrics. Like I'll focus on the melody and the song and like you said Pumped Up Kicks. Perfect example. I never focused on the lyrics. I just thought it was a good song with a good melody. You know what I mean? Like I never once I found out what the song was about, I'm like, "Oh, really?" And then like I went back and listened to it. I'm like, "Oh, okay, now I get it." But like it's like for me it's the melody and the music behind it, you know what I mean? But like I always like every time I write a song, it like for me the lyrics have to match the music for me, and that's why it takes me so long to write lyrics. But I could literally write a song right now and say this song's about this. I did it with my grandmother. Okay,
did you?
My song here on my album. I just broken up with a girl, and that night I went to my grandmother's house. It was like 2 a.m, and I had my guitar. And like why I have my guitar, I have no idea, but I just have my guitar. And I started playing this thing, and my grandmother comes out and she's like, "Keep playing."
Wow.
And I'm like, okay. So I keep playing. I'm like, this is what the song's about. The song was about like being out, and it's so cliche, but like being out in the rain, and seeing a girl talking to a guy in a restaurant and wishing that I was that guy in the restaurant. Or whatever, talking to this girl, and that was what like when as I'm writing the music to this song, like I can envision like this video in my head of me wishing I was inside this room, wishing I was talking to this girl and it wasn't this guy, and here I am standing out in the rain and I just wish I could come back in. And my grandmother's like, just keep playing the song, and so like, she's like, okay, here, and she passes over this notepad, and it fit. Like everything, I didn't change any lyric whatsoever in the song. So everything in that song was what she wrote, but it was exactly what the song was about. Like I told her, this is what the song's about, and she wrote the lyrics, and it fit perfectly, And that's like, I mean, to me, that's how I write, So I can't like. That's why if I ever try to write lyrics to a song, it takes forever because like I know what it's about, but I can't put it into lyrical form. You know what I mean? It takes me forever to do that. So. It's just the way I write.
Have you guys ever thought about collaborating together? I know you guys have played together, and you guys done like the Dick Smith thing on a Thursday night, and have played a bunch of cover. But what about collaborating on an original song together?
I need you and They don't know yet, but he and Quinn and I are going to do something soon.
Oh yeah.
You don't know.
It's gotta happen.
You haven't even told me.
I'll say yes. I'll say yes in that sense. Yeah. I mean,
There's
volunteering
too
yourself.
there's too much stupid talent in this area. Like,
you know.
Really is,
Oh, yeah.
bro, right? And tonight, with being in the Sammys, have proven that.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
There's so much talent. And, like, we're sitting there before the Sammys looking through all the nominees, and I'm like, I'm friends with that guy. I'm friends with that band. I'm friends with that girl.
How about Stephen
And it's
Phillips,
like,
by the way?
Oh, wow.
We had no idea. We had no idea this
know he
dude even existed. Okay, this dude like comes out and like the band was incredible. Like,
No doubt.
like it sounded like a national act. I mean, they sounded like a national act. Yeah. I mean, I went and downloaded everything that this guy. Like, I'm on Apple Music, so I went and I downloaded everything this guy ever did. And I can't wait to listen to it. Like, I'm just so pumped to listen to it because I'm like, that's incredible. But it's. You know,
Stephen Phillips.
Stephen Phillips, yeah, but it's spelled
And
with
he's on,
the
like,
PH.
Apple and Spotify and all that.
STEPH.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's some unbelievable talent, and I think this is the perfect time right now throughout this Corona coaster that we've been suffering through, that you guys all get together and maybe write a song, collaborate together, you know, kind of like We Are the World type of thing, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need
For
to
sure.
have a CNY anthem,
Yeah.
and I think all you guys need to come together and like put that together, and I think it starts with you two.
I'd love it.
I really do. I really do. I think it starts with you two.
But I'll tell you this, Z. I really firmly believe that that Central New York is off the music radar, and it shouldn't be.
Right.
And I'll tell you,
I agree.
When I give props to Kelly Yako for a lot of the experiences that I've had in my life. You know, playing with a lot of famous people, a lot of famous drummers.
Kelly's a drummer, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
I think I heard.
Anyway, so Kelly, like,
He's
brought
a passionate guy,
in,
right?
He's very passionate. But anyway, he brought in Liberty DeVito. Okay, and actually, you know what? I can't even say that he did. It was Keith James and Kelly, both the two of them, because Keith wanted Liberty to play for his recital. He was teaching the kids all Billy Joel songs. Had Liberty come in, and we had Dinger, who plays with Ryan Quinn.
Yep.
He was just coming off tour in Japan with a Billy Joel tribute band, and so it worked perfect for me because I didn't have to learn any lead parts because he played all lead parts, so it was great. But Liberty, if anybody doesn't know how Liberty plays. His left hand, when he hits the snare drum, he lifts his left hand all the way up here and smashes the snare drum down. So when I go to set up, okay, he's on a big riser like this, and I have to set up next to him. So he's like, all right, let's start Allentown. And it starts out with this big snare drum, blah, 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 like this, like, right? So I'm like, okay, he's like, 1, 2, blah, blah. And I'm like, ah! Oh my God. It like literally hurt my ears because the snare drum was right next to my ear. I was like, oh my God, you know? And but the point of the story is that we get done with that recital, and we had this big event plan at the Devereaux, and we had 2 drum sets set up, so like all the drummers from the area could get up and play with Liberty, you know. And but before we stopped at Oskanese at the time, Oskanese was in Washington Mills. They had like a satellite, you know, pizza place on Oneida Street there. We stopped there, and Jose and Liberty each ate a large cheese pizza.
That does not surprise me.
If you don't know Liberty DeVito, though, Liberty DeVito is like 175 pounds soaking wet. Okay, this guy's skinny as a rail, but he ate an entire large cheese pizza all by himself. But in the meantime, he's talking to all of us, and he goes, where the fuck did you guys come from? And we're like, what do you mean? He's like, I've never, ever in my life seen talent this congested in my entire life, like this much talent in one place.
So true.
And I said to him right flat out, I was like, wait till you go to the Devereaux tonight. Just wait till tonight. And he was talking about the kids and us. I go, wait till you go to the Devereaux tonight. And he got to play Scenes in an Italian Restaurant. It was Liberty, Lenny Milano Sr. on drums with him.
So they're dual drums?
Dual drums.
Okay.
Jose on bass, me on guitar, Keith James on keyboards, and Lenny goes, Jose, are you singing this? And Jose goes, yeah. He goes, so you know that middle part there, you know, the middle part, you know, with the bit, he does the thing, like, he goes, yeah. He goes, you like do that and sing it too? And he goes, well, yeah. So it gets to that part, you know, right? And like it gets to the part, and Jose does it because Jose's so used to singing and playing that, you know, of course he can do it, you know. And Lenny's screaming from behind the drums. There's Liberty over on the right. He's playing. He's doing his thing. Lenny's playing the drums, screaming, "Oh my God, that's incredible! That's just great! That's great! I can't believe it!" Like they're all playing. It was so fucking funny, dude. I'm dying. I'm like dying. Lenny's like blown away that Jose could do that, but like it was such a great time. Like just like Liberty DeVito got to see like the talent that we have in Central New York, you know. And I'm lucky enough to the fact that my CD release party in 2007, Liberty played on my CD release party.
Amazing.
At my for my album, he played all my songs.
Where's that at Brownies?
That was at Glory Days.
Glory Days.
And
amazing.
And the best part was about that was that that day, well, the night before I played at Glory Days because I played there every Thursday night, and I was playing, and Liberty came in the night before, and they had all his drums set up. He was gonna like set up all his drums to make sure like everything was, you know, the way he wanted it. So I go on a break, and I go in the back, and here's Liberty on the set of drums and just playing. And I got to see Liberty just warming up on drums, you know, just him by himself, which was just so incredibly cool, right? And you know, and so the next day, I get a phone call. Power's off at Glory Days.
What?
I go, what do you mean the power's off at Glory Days? He's like, yeah, so he didn't pay his light bill for National Grid, so they shut the power off. So my grandfather, God rest his soul, who is my biggest fan in the world, brought 2 generators over, and he stole power from the hotel behind him.
Wow.
And we made the show go on. But in the meantime, when they didn't have power, Mark, the owner of the bar, calls me and says, "You need to stall him." So we brought him to Tony's Pizza. We had some pizza there, and then we brought him to Tony Brindisi's house. And Tony got to show him his record collection and everything, and like he started to think like, what? How come we're not on our way to the gig yet? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, and we're like, okay, let's go. And like,
Uticans.
like the second we pulled into to Glory Days, it was all of a sudden the power was on. And we got to do the gig, but it was definitely a lot of fun, and you know, but I mean, like just the fact that here's this guy that was a 30-year veteran of a national
Rock and Roll Hall of Famer,
Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, legit saying, how is this place not on the map?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's the sad part. I mean, and you know what? The thing
making
is,
the hairs on my arms stand up.
But the thing is, for me, like these days, and Gary will agree, you know, these days. You don't want a record company to sign you.
No, definitely not.
You don't want that now.
If
you don't need it.
If they've signed you, you've already done the work that they're going to do for you. They want to see that you have a certain amount of ticket sales. They want to see your online presence. If you're there, flip them off and go. That's just them telling you you're ready.
Right. Let's just look at what happened to Kelly Clarkson. Let's look at what happened to her. Okay, she was the first American Idol winner. Okay, the first American Idol winner. Look what happened to that poor chick. Thank God that she had enough business sense and enough like drive to carry her career past that. You know what I mean? Because they owned her. You know, that was the whole thing. That's why, you know, I never wanted to be a part of those shows. You know what I mean? Like, because like if you win those shows, you know, if any of us were to win those shows, they own you.
Yep.
And they can make you sing whatever they want. You know, I would have been like some kind of like, you know, I don't know, 2000s R&B singer, I guess, or whatever, you know, or country artist, you know, whatever, you know. But, I mean, you know, she made her money, but at the same time, she wasn't doing what she wanted to do, you know. And music's an art. It's an art form, you know.
100%.
Music's an art form. And, like, you know, to tell an artist, like, it's like telling Vincent van Gogh you can't paint abstract. You know, you have to paint, you know, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's, you know what I'm saying though.
You got to use
like,
watercolors.
You got to use watercolors. You can't paint with anything else other than watercolors. Right. It's like that's the same thing. And I feel like the record companies they don't treat you like that. You know what I mean? They don't treat you like an artist. They treat you as like you know, like they own you. You know what I mean? Which is, you know, so for me, like all these, like you look at guys like Jay Schnitt. You know, I mean, he's putting out. I swear to God, the guy puts out an album every 2 weeks, but. It's all great music, but he does it all himself. You know, he promotes himself, and that's like where it's at now. You know what I mean? So,
for sure. We got a bunch of people checking in on Facebook. Thank you so much out there in the Facebook land. A lot of people showing both of us, all three of us, love.
Awesome.
So thank you so much to 315 for showing us a bunch of love. There's so many out there. It's just too hard to keep up with. But I want to give a big shout out to Fritz. Because I know you're playing a couple shows with Fritz. And
I'm playing one show next week, and I can't wait. We tried to set up a couple other that weekend, but we couldn't make it happen. But I'm playing one show with him next week. And I told him
Do you know polka?
No.
No.
No, but I will.
Okay.
But Fritz is like, that's the thing is that it'll blow your mind. Like, you go for a polka show that he's doing like all on the Watchtower and like knocking on heaven's door.
Oh yeah, Kiss songs.
Oh yeah. So this is the greatest thing. Okay, is Fritz on right now?
I think he is.
Okay,
yeah.
so like Fritz is like if you could get. If you could get starstruck by a polka artist, it's Fritz. I'm telling you right now. And I mean, I still am. Like, we had him here.
I've seen the polka band outdrink Korn. The band
I believe
Korn.
I believe
and that's a fact.
I believe it.
I've seen them out in Jägermeister.
But they get sponsored by Jaeger. I mean, like, come on.
Outdrink Korn.
Like, Jaeger becomes water to them at that point. But I mean, like you have to understand this. So he asked me to play it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna play with Fritz's polka band. I got to be on top of my game. And this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, hey, can you meet for coffee? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So we meet at Utica Coffee, right? I'm late. You know, I'm like, you know, I all this shit. I'm just late all the time. I can't help it. You know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, I got some stuff to do, and I'll meet you at this time. I'm like, okay. So I pull next to this purple Dodge Charger.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, there's no way. And like, I just knew it was, but I didn't. I was like, no. You know, like this. But I look up, and here's this guy. He's got fucking sunglasses on, a Jaeger hoodie, and just turns around, and it's like out of a movie. It's like fucking rock star. You know what I mean? I'm like, I know it's him. You know, so we go and we talk like this, and he comes back out. You know, and he gets in this car, and I'm like, fuck yeah! I'm like, God, man, I wanna be in a polka band and own a fucking purple fucking Charger. I want to own a purple Charger. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, yes. I'm like, yes. But I mean, like I love following Fritz because like he's all about history too, like with his with his dad and the band and stuff.
He's
and,
saying
like,
purple is his favorite color.
It is. But that picture that he posted of the accordion that he plays of his dad's, I mean, I think that is just so amazing, and like how he's carrying the band on past, his father started the band and like
carry on the legacy.
Carry on that legacy and to be able to play his father's instrument like that. And just I mean like
it's
and he rocks it. He's
such a great
rocks
story.
it, man.
Yeah, it's like literally rocks. Like you wouldn't think most people wouldn't think that you can be a fucking rock star playing polka.
Fuck yeah.
If there's anybody
he's a
that
rock
can
star.
do it, it's Fritz.
He really is a rock star.
Yeah.
You know, but it kills me because there's certain places I'm sure he could go and people would mob him. You know what I mean? But it's like he reminds me of like a Joe Bonamassa in a sense, because if Joe Bonamassa ever walked down Genesee Street right now, he would not get mobbed. But if he walked down a main street, if he walked down a main street in London, if Joe Bonamassa walked down a main street in London, girls are all over him, everybody's going crazy. They'd recognize him. But like people in his own hometown, they would have no idea who he was.
I would say Central New York is notorious for that.
Oh sure,
of anywhere
so
that
right, Gary.
We have amazing support, but I'm telling you right now that Fran Cosmo would sell more tickets at a brewery in Pittsburgh than he would at Saranac Brewery.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that is there's a criminal underestimation of people when they get to a certain level.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, how about Joe Bonamassa played it? What was
Saranac? We did 800 people.
Yeah, but when he played the last time he was in the area, he played at Syracuse.
At the Landmark.
At the Landmark,
barely did 1,000 people.
Barely did 1,000
but he
people.
sells
okay,
Albert Hall.
But
with
2 nights in
Eric
a row.
Clapton.
2 nights in a row, mind you. However, it was like 2 or 3 weeks before he played in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. I went and saw him. He was sold out. I was in the front row, way to the left, but I was in the front row. But I mean, it was incredible to me that here's this guy that can sell anywhere in the country. He comes to his hometown and nobody goes to watch him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Blows my mind.
It's crazy
Me
because
too,
simultaneously, again,
but Showtime sells out Saranac.
Yeah, exactly. We're so well supported in so many ways, but that also exists somehow with Joe.
Sure.
Anyone from the area that's made it out. I mean, it's just and it's. I maybe it's just them being taken for granted. That it's just, it's just
the sad part about that show with Joe, though, it was that a Syracuse paper gave him a bad review. They ripped him apart,
man.
and they said he was shitty to his bandmates and everything.
Maniac,
and it was to the point where his bandmates went to bat for him and actually wrote back to the paper and said, you're absolutely wrong in what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's like here's this guy that, I mean, you look at like Karma Carmonica. Karma Carmonica made it out of Central New York. You know, he toured, he played on, you know, shows and like did all this stuff. And like, you know, here's this amazing artist. And you know, when he came back to the area, everybody praised him. Everybody loved him. But nowadays, like, you can't get that with somebody that makes it out of the area. You know what I mean? Like, here's Joe, you know, whatever. But why wouldn't Joe be cynical of this area? Why wouldn't he treat people from this area like shit? Of course he would, because they've all treated him like shit.
Indeed.
You know what I mean?
It's unfortunate.
So, I mean, I guess the bottom line and the point of this story is, you know, treat everybody with love,
and
man.
that's what I want everybody to get across in 315, because there is that negative stigmatism that hangs over the 315. God forbid if that guy does better than me, then I'm going to be pissed off at him.
Right.
You know, give that a rest, people.
But I can honestly
give that a fucking rest. What we need to do is support one another.
Well, yeah, and I can tell you this, Z. I'll tell you this right now. If any of you people out there right now take what you have for granted right now. If you're like, I don't want to go see Last Left. They're not as good as Showtime, or Showtime, they're not as good as Last Left, or Gary Johnson, he's not as good as this guy. Take that all for granted. Go outside of this area and go watch a live band. That's all I ask you to do.
Here,
go outside of this area, watch a live band, and you'll see exactly what you're taking for granted.
Well, like
You'll see exactly what you're taking for granted.
There's the videos of the people who, like the first chair violinist that charges $1,000 a ticket or something, goes like that in the subway. That everybody just walks by him, you know.
Sure.
That's how I feel when Ryan Quinn plays at a bar locally.
Oh my God.
And people won't put their drink down long enough to look. I mean, granted, you know, not that he's not being appreciated, but it's like there's times when I look over and I'm like, do you fucking understand what's occurring right now? Like what world-class talent is happening? So I mean, but I mean, again, not that people don't support him and people aren't there for him, but it's crazy what can be taken for granted. And as far as like I feel like the 2000, 2010 was really bad for like the hate, the Utica hate. It was fucking, it was real.
Before the comments got here. Right?
Sure.
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Right? It's before the Comets got here. Because when the Comets got here, that's when, like, their second year of existence, that's when the Utica Pride really started to kick in, because they went to the AHL finals in their second year.
I agree.
And people started to get into that whole Utica Pride thing. Yeah. And then all of a sudden there's like a Made in Utica, and there's all these things going on, and people are like being really supportive. And it starts with Rob Esch, and it starts with the Comets.
Oh, sure.
And it starts with Erin Hamlin, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Her winning the bronze medal and bringing attention to the area. She was the very first woman to ever bronze in that sport for the United States.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it just so happens she was from our hometown.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, boom, Utica's on the map.
Right.
And it was great to see, man.
And I remember, like,
finally, Utica's on the map for something other than the mafia.
Yeah. and drugs and alcohol, right?
I remember everybody.
Sin City.
Yeah. Everybody was at each other's throats. Well, I did this first, you did this. And I've always been I don't care what you do. I mean, if the next person doing well takes money out of my pocket, then I got to do better.
Right.
That's the way that works. I shouldn't wish for someone else to not do well because I can't hack it.
That's the one thing with Utica musicians, though. We're always working harder. Like, I feel like everybody in Utica, like all of us musicians, I feel like that we are the ones that are always saying we can do better. We can. There's, you know, like. Everybody, the talent is so amazing. Yep. But everybody in the area is always like, there's room to learn.
Well, like, I had somebody tell me last year, they're like, well, you know, I've never met you, but I learned. I learned.
Don't you love that?
I learned all I need to learn from you off Facebook, which is what? That you think you're better than everyone else. I'm like, listen, friend, I've been in a band with Fran Cosmo, Ryan Quinn, and Dave King. Yeah, I'm not the best at anything that I do.
No,
right?
I'm like,
exactly.
I'm like, I never want to sing again, and I never want to play the guitar again. Yeah. I'm like, and I can give you 50 piano players that are better than I am. So there's nothing that I do that I couldn't be the best at.
You know, one of the happiest I ever was I got to carry in Dave King's amp to Saranac one day. That was the happiest I was. Like, it made me super happy. I'm like, I'm carrying in Dave King's amp right now. This fucking Yamaha amp that he's got. You know,
the Soul Smoke.
Dude, I'm like, I'm carrying this amp, and I'm like, this is it, man. This is Dave King's amp. This is what makes this dude fucking sound amazing. Like, and here's Dave. God, I love him so much because he's like, man, he's like, you don't have to carry that. I'm like, the fuck I don't. I'm like an apprentice right now. That's what I feel like. I'm like, I will carry everything. You break a string, you just toss your guitar over the side, I would catch it. I would catch it with cotton.
He's a monster player, and he's the sweetest.
Oh, God, he's amazing.
He really is.
I talked to him a couple weeks ago. We don't. He's one of those people I just don't connect with enough.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him in like 3 years.
The moment you talk to him, it's just like it never stopped.
Sure.
And it's just he's like this biggest family man. Like just if anybody around here should have a big ego, it's guys like him. You know?
Right. Seriously,
he couldn't have less of it. And he's like, I don't know.
He's such a sweetheart.
What about when Ronnie James Dio died? He went and played at his
with Joey Belladonna.
With Joey Belladonna.
Silver Mountain, King of Silver Mountain. Yeah.
The man on the Silver Mountain.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Right?
I was at Turning Stone.
Fucking epic.
Yeah. What was an acoustic version? Sick.
I was playing at Turning Stone. I was doing a motif in the playing a piano show back when you could do those live in person. And I was just doing my thing, being stupid. I look over the corner of my eye and I see Joey and Dave off in the corner, like kind of over by the food court side. They were playing with their band. I can't think of the name. The Chief Bigway. Yep. They were playing down at the gig that night. So he goes, somebody yells out, play at Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And I'm like, who the hell wants to hear that? And I hear King going, do it. He goes, Joey Belladonna wants to hear you say Ice Water Mansion on the mic. So he's I'm dying laughing. And Joey's like, come on. He didn't say anything. He just kind of just like waved me on. So I did it. I played the whole friggin' song for some reason. It was
if all you people out there don't know who Joey Belladonna is, he's the lead singer of Anthrax.
Yeah.
And he always comes back to the area with.
He lives here. He lives in Oswego.
I know, but Chief Bigway. He always comes back with Chief Bigway. And I mean, like all of us players were like, we get through an hour and a half. We're like, we got to take a break. Okay, hour and a half. Got to take a break. Okay, 20-minute break. Go back on. Here's Joey Belladonna. Not only singing every single song in Chief Bigway, but playing the drums while singing every song and playing 4 hours straight with no break.
Don't stop. He doesn't stop.
And he's like 400 years old. It's incredible.
Mike Tylee's checking in right now.
I love that comment that he just made.
Yeah,
I love
he's saying Dave King says the best gigs are the one where the car is closest to the stage.
Story. He said that to me at Saranac when I carried it in his amp. He was like, man, I wish I could have got my car closer to the stage.
That's too funny.
I got to go back to Fritz real quick though, because this is great. Like once again, if you guys don't realize that polka is fucking rock and roll, Jaeger cut us off at the Jaeger Country Tour with Dierks Bentley.
You believe that? That's true too.
I do believe it. I absolutely believe that.
I've seen those guys, the hardest drinking polka band you will ever freaking meet in the world. Like out drinking some of these heavy metal bands, and then these heavy metal bands would be sitting around and be like, "Wow, we just got beat up by a polka band."
Yeah,
true story.
One of the coolest gigs I've ever played was at Vernon Downs. Is when they first opened. That they have their convention center, they call it, but it's like I don't know where they have weddings and stuff. Thanks, brother. They have weddings and stuff, and there was 2 stages set up. There was one set up for us and one set up for a polka band. It was a Polish wedding, and we would play 45 minutes, and then the polka band would play 45 minutes. And these guys were outstanding, and playing rock and roll music, playing everything, everybody thinks polka's gonna be boom chick, boom chick, boom chick, boom chick, boom chick, but they've really they've evolved like all of us have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's incredible to see. It really is. Everybody has to evolve. You have to. There's, I don't know. There's pop music from 2000s. There's pop music from the 80s. It's all different.
It's all different.
But, I mean, there's only a select few that can really make it, decade to decade. Fritz's Polka Band is definitely one of those bands. I'll tell you that right now.
Time,
absolutely.
He 100% does. We love Fritz. We love Fritz so much, man. And we had him on the Local Music Monday.
We did.
And what a great conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know his music's played on Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Which is the greatest
they were in
television
Fritz,
show of all
if you're still on, man, they were in a movie. He's in the background. You got it, Fritz. If you're still on, please.
Fritz is. It was definitely in Breaking Bad, but I'm not sure about a movie.
Yeah, John. Jess Novak did win, didn't she?
Yeah, John Caprio. Jess Novak did win. Congratulations to Jess Novak. Congratulations to Atkins Riot.
Yes.
And Huge congratulations to our boy Gary Johnson.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And Rise and Shine Diner won, too.
Rise and Shine Diner. Yeah. Have you played there, bro?
I haven't. I got one date this summer. I was able to.
I was going to say, you better get a gig out of them.
Yeah. Well, I'll be there in August. I think the 7th or something like that. So
I love it.
It's tough because they do Saturdays, and my Saturdays are pretty much shot with weddings. So,
oh sure.
Yeah.
But it was early enough where I can.
Showtime's got a lot of weddings this year.
Sweet.
You know, it's because of of COVID. It's like it's like the only gigs, like we got harpoonettes and weddings.
Yeah,
it's pretty much all we got.
For instance, a Manchurian Candidate filmed in 2003.
Yes. Yep, Manchurian Candidate. Yep.
I never seen it.
So we got, I mean, like, look at that. You got Fritz's Polka Band. You got Fritz's Polka Band in movies. Mm-hmm. You got Brand New Sin in movies.
Brand New Sin. Like they were.
King's gotten some big placements too. I was talking about that the other day. He's actually like commercials and TV shows and stuff, and he doesn't boast about it. You wouldn't know.
Right.
But he's got a really good thing happening right now. I'm like, good for you.
That's
he just
awesome.
writes like a riff and some drums and stuff and sends it off, and we're lucky around here. I mean, there's a lot of.
With King, I was so excited. I couldn't wait. Remember that bar? What was that bar over in Bag Square? It was
Piers and Blake.
Piers and Blake.
Yeah.
Okay. So Yako
Shulman,
had
right?
Mark Shulman come in from.
I remember this.
And he was touring with Foreigner at the time because Pink had a baby, and she wasn't touring, so he needed a gig. So he went. Most people don't know that Mark Shulman actually played with Foreigner back in the '80s for a stint. So he was back with them, and he was coming in to do a clinic at Piers and Blake, and Dave King was going to be the lead guitar player. I'm the rhythm guitar player. And they had all these musicians and stuff like blah blah blah. And there was, I can't remember what the hell happened. There was an accident or something where he was trying to get down. He had to go on 5. He wasn't going to make it down in time. And finally, Kelly's like, Dave, just turn around and go home, man. It's cool. No big deal. Justin's got this.
Justin's got this.
And then he comes to me and he's like, you got this, right? And I'm like, I have legit 1 hour to learn all these leads. Like, I didn't learn any of the leads, all these Foreigner songs. I mean, these Foreigner songs are like righteous. So I'm in the back room while Mark's doing his half an hour masterclass. Okay, I'm in the back with headphones trying to learn Cold as Ice. Yo,
it's
all
cold
by ear.
as ice.
I'm learning all this stuff by ear, right? And so it comes to the show. I literally learned all these solos in an hour. Right, with headphones on, people are coming to talk to me. I'm like, get away from me, I'm gonna try to fucking do this, So it comes to the time and that was actually the first time I heard Jerry Crimmins sing Foreigner. He did Cold as Ice, I think it was, and it was before he was in the band, and he came out and sang it, and he sounds like Lou Gramm. Jerry Crimmins sounds like Lou Gramm, and thank God we have him in our band. It's incredible. It's great, but. So I did all these solos. I played all these parts. I'm like sweating. It was like that video of like the sound engineer trying to make the person sound good, where he's like going through doing all this thing. Like I felt like that guy. I'm sweating my face off. I get done, and Mark gets off the drums. He comes up and he goes, "Great job, man." I go, "Thanks." And he walks away. I'm like, "Okay."
It's
okay, I can take a deep breath.
Breathe now.
I can breathe. The guy said a great job. I mean, little did he know that I had to learn all these solos, but
you have an anxiety attack over here.
Fucking Dave King.
I hung out with him like 2 weeks.
Couldn't have just lived in Utica, could you, Dave?
I hung out with Mark like a couple weeks later at a convention in Connecticut. He was like, "Yeah, fucking." Those guys were great. I'm like, "Yeah, Justin played." He's like, "Yeah, great guitar player." I'm like, "Yeah, he is." So, and I told him, I'm like, he wasn't. You do know he wasn't like planning on doing that. Like, he learned all the songs that day. He's like, "Really?" I'm like, yeah. He's like, "Wow, yeah."
I didn't tell you about the first time he came in when he was on tour with Pink. He was getting ready to go on tour. He came in to Utica, and I played. Molly was there, Jeff was there. We all played with him. Like that whole Vanilla Funk thing that we did. And I got his number, and him and I really connected. And so, I waited a week after he left and went back to L.A., and then I called him.
Like
I'm
a
like,
gentleman,
yeah, and I'm like, "Hey, man, what's up?" Like, I was calling for a date, So I call him up on the phone. I'm like, "Hey," "How's it going, man?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good. I just got done auditioning a guitar player for the tour." I go, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, I would have asked you to come out and do it, but I needed somebody who could play like a little bit of keyboard. I go, "I can play a little bit of keyboard." He's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" He's like, he freaked out. He was like, "Oh my God, if you had told me that a week ago," he goes, "I would have brought you on a tour with us." I'm like, "Oh my God." But it's whatever.
Incredible.
Whatever will be, will be. You know what I mean? I don't care.
Exactly.
When was that?
Oh, that was like 2000. I don't know, 10 maybe. I don't know. It was yeah, and like I would have been like the third. I would have been the third guitar player and slash little bit of parts on the keyboard, which I could have done easily. Yeah. But it was just funny how that was. So then, like my second time with Mark was with the Foreigner thing. So it's funny you say that.
What a night! What a freaking night! Congratulations, Gary.
Thank you.
This is the longest.
Let me tell you something. You so deserve this fucking Sammy.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely,
really do,
man.
bro. Because you put so much hard work into it, and what you've done on the college circuit, and what you've done on your own, and just in the whole live request thing that you've done.
Absolutely, man.
And all the hard work you put into this whole thing, man. You so deserve this, bro. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, man. It means the world to me.
I really am so proud of you and everything that you've done and you've accomplished, and you've been all over this country and doing such great things. You really deserve this. So be proud of yourself.
Thank you,
Pat yourself on the back.
Likewise.
And it's just an amazing night, man.
I
Really, and I'm
appreciate
so
it.
glad we can all share this together.
I'm glad I'm here. Like I was talking to Lauren today. She goes, "Well, She goes, "I don't really know much about the network. What do they do?" I'm like, "It's not just like we've seen the local music Monday. You saw when I came in and melted my face off. They have stuff going on all week, and it's just to take this from nothing, to come up with this and have it be that widely recognized as it should be. It's just incredible. I mean, you guys, that's the thing that most people don't understand is." I'm going to preface this with obviously you have quality content, but more important than having quality content is just having content. Is getting shit out there several times a week, just like when you put stuff out on Twitch.
It's important right now. It really is.
Yeah.
Because you can have the best thing ever, but if it's only coming out once a month or once every 6 weeks, it's people are just consuming way faster than that. It's like these TV shows, they drop a full season in a day, and people are like, fuck, I gotta wait 11 and a half months for another one? And so that's the culture that we're in right now. So you guys are just killing it. And
thank you, man.
Not only quality content, but you're putting it out fast, you're getting it out weekly or several times a week. And it's been a hustle. And it's paid off. Especially
since this whole Corona coaster kicked in, right? Because we didn't know what the frick we were all going to do.
Well, no.
I mean, everybody got their work shut down, especially in the entertainment industry. We all got shut down instantly.
We have to do a highlight video.
We had to reinvent ourselves, and you did it, and you did it, and we all did it. Everybody did it. And those are the people that are going to stand the test of time, are for the ones that accepted the change and moved along with the change instead of got left behind.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah. We have to do a highlight video, by the way, of the past year, like before the
highlight video.
Yeah, before the big party. We have to do a highlight video.
It has to go to "You Make My Dreams Come True" by Hall & Oates, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because like there was times that I was next to my fireplace in the middle of the summer, and the sun's behind me. And he's like, move a little bit, and Todd's like, get out of the way of the sun. It's like right on your face.
Go back inside because the birds are chirping.
I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I'm like, it's nice out. I'm out here. The first month and a half of our streams were wasted. I was just out of control. We both just drank the entire time. It was great.
Well, you did.
I think everybody.
No, I did.
You did too. Don't even fucking lie about it.
I woke up at 10 a.m. started drinking White Claws.
Yeah,
it was bad.
Yeah, I would look at my wife during like because like you have to understand, like everybody understands that like we were told it was like 2 weeks max.
Yeah, that's all we thought.
2
maybe
weeks
a
max.
month.
So we're like, okay, cool.
Maybe a month.
We get a 2-week vacation. And I looked at my wife at like 10 in the morning one day, and she's off, and I'm off, and I'm like, is it too early to start drinking? Nah, let's just start drinking. It's only 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A month later, I'm through like my 15th 30-pack, and I'm like, oh, God, I got to slow down. Apparently, this is going to last a lot longer. Oh, boy.
Yeah. We're almost at the 1-year anniversary of the 2-week mark.
It's right here.
I know, right?
It's coming up next week, right? I think it's next week, right around St. Patrick's Day.
Did you figure out our exact 1-year anniversary yet?
No, I didn't. But I need to look back in the archives.
Yeah, look back in the archives. There is one.
I do want everybody to know, though, on March 29th, we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary here with Local Music
And
Monday.
I think we just booked Gary. He's going to come down and play for us.
It's a Monday, so it should be good.
It's a Monday, so
we're going to do a 3-hour.
Nobody knows the time that they're playing yet because we haven't figured that out.
Yeah, because I'm
sure that day.
I'm slacking.
We'll be like, everybody come at noon.
Come in.
Everybody come at noon.
I'm just so excited to see everybody.
You go,
brother.
you go, yeah.
I'm so excited to see everybody.
But see, like Z, you're like the road crew guy, though. You know what I mean? You know how to fucking do this. I mean, like you've been under Chucky Love for years.
Oh, God.
You know,
I gotta
that thing you did for Chucky Love on his birthday. I was crying,
amazing,
crying, dude, hilarious. By the way, I'm on Twitch right now. I said, "Is there anybody here?" Nobody's wrote back.
Nobody knows nothing.
I'm sad.
But no, it's just been a great experience. The other thing that sucks though is because of the whole Corona coaster and everything that the shutdown and everything.
Yeah.
The fact that not everybody, but a lot of our friends reinvented themselves and had to like go back to the drawing board and like reconstruct their business model and everything. And a lot of our great friends did and has succeeded through.
Well, it says a lot about this area too and how much drive everybody has, you know, and what we do. You know what I mean?
Not only that, but like when you go live or I go live. And people like, you know, you and I know we share each other's stuff, other people's stuff. Max is great about it. Tim is great about it. I mean, everybody's just, Sean is from the go. Like, when
Tim's like a mod on my Twitch right now. Like, it's crazy. Tim Moore.
Never heard of him.
Me either, anyway.
I think I heard of him once.
He's the,
he's the lead singer of Last Left, isn't he?
Didn't he play in Breaking Benjamin at one time or something?
He was the,
Ulterior Motive?
Ulterior Motive or something like that. That
was it,
I think I heard of him.
But I mean, everybody shares each other's stuff. I mean, I've had shows that I've played across town from Sean on the same night, and he's still sharing my link. Like, that's just and that just says a lot about what people are, you know. And we obviously we all try to do that for each other. And that's, again, if it's an odd person to quote, but you were talking about how, you know, everybody's worried about if the next guy gets his, then you won't get yours. Like, to quote of likely source Louis C.K.
Here we go.
I'm going to take it out now, okay? You won't be able to see it on the camera, but you two will. No, one of the scenes he was talking to his daughters, he said, the only time you look in your neighbor's bowl is to make sure they have enough. And I was like, wow, that's fucking profound. Which, I mean, as funny as the show was, if you ever watched it, it really was fucking profound. Yeah. But I think that's on the nail. Like, I mean, I don't care if you have more shows than I do, or if you make more money than I do. If my kids are fed and my lights are on,
that's all that matters.
That's all I care about. Yeah,
seriously.
And again, if my lights aren't on and my kids aren't fed, it's not because you're doing good, because I'm not fucking doing good enough.
But and that's the thing, though. Like, we all look at each other and like, what is he doing? Like, what is he doing to make it, you know, to get these people? You know, what am I doing? What do I need to do? What is he doing that I need to do? And I call him up on the phone. I'm like, Gary, how do you do this? And he's like, he doesn't say, oh, well, I can't really tell you that, you know, because I'll be giving away my secret.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be like, no, I'm doing this. And Tim Moore the same way. Like the biggest thing, that we've done, like, since we've seen like Joe Altier on Twitch, okay? And honest to God, the one thing that he said to us, okay, after a year of streaming on Twitch, he goes, I don't have to book a gig again for the rest of my life.
He's right.
He's absolutely right. And so what did Tim and I do? We hop on Twitch and we're constantly watching his stream. We're watching each other's stream. Yep. I've been on the phone with Tim Moyer more in the past 2 months than I have been in my entire life, and I used to work with him. I'm not even kidding.
You probably don't want to admit it either.
No, I don't care, because you know what? The thing is, like, honest to God, and I'm being completely serious right now. Like, he has helped me so much, and I like to think that I've done a little to help him. You know what I mean? He just made me a moderator on his page, so I could see things, and I could tell him what, you know, he needs to fix, or he tells me what I need to fix. Oh, you should do this, you know. And like, I love it. I absolutely love it. And like the community on Twitch is incredible. Like, as far as
it really is.
Like, just Joe. Like, when he rated Tim's page. Okay, Tim had 100.
Did he really? He rated
He had 175 followers or 180 followers, right? And like Joe's mod is called Oversight Mod.
Yep.
Okay, and Canadian Carla, whatever. Anyway, she's like, we're on in 3 minutes. So Tim plays another song, and she comes back on 20 seconds. I went back and watched it. You know, 20 seconds. And Tim's like, oh, okay, like this. All of a sudden, it was like, weird. And like, you see all these emotes and everything, like Joe's, like everything. Like, fucking 120 people come on. He's up to 250 followers, like just fucking crazy. People are tipping him like crazy.
Amazing, right?
Shooting bits out. Everything going crazy. The hair on my fucking arms stood straight up. I was like, oh my God. I made my wife watching. She's like, that is absolutely incredible. And like, now there's people that watch Joe that are now watching Tim because they enjoyed what he did. They enjoyed his content. And so like, Tim's like, oh, I want to send, love your way. So like, we got to make sure I'm trying to figure out a way where I can stream at night because I stream in the afternoon because my son's room is right across the hall. He goes to bed at like 8 o'clock. So I have to stream before 8 o'clock. And I was streaming during the day because I'm like, my wife and I are very like teamwork oriented. Like we raise him together. You do the same thing with your wife. It's like we raise our kid together. And so like if I don't have to work, I'm not working. I'm home. Okay, so it's a very difficult thing for me to be like, okay, I need to go live from 6 to 8 upstairs. I need to go work upstairs from 6 to 8.
Knowing that your kid's downstairs.
Knowing that my son is downstairs, and there's something I'm missing, maybe,
I was halfway here.
Yeah.
I told these guys, I was halfway here. I turned around and went back home.
I know you did.
And I was like, I can't leave my
kids
kids
That's why
right
I was
now.
so surprised that you actually showed up.
So I went back, had some help at the time with them, and then
I miss you, brother.
Who's there? T-Sap?
T-Sap.
Big
Hell
up
yeah.
to T-Sap.
I miss that dude.
I got some time with them at home, and then I realized that they probably weren't going to be up this late. So so I came back, obviously. So, but yeah, I feel you there. It's hard when they're in the room. When they're
it is hard, and like my biggest thing is that I don't want my wife when I'm home. I don't want my wife doing it alone. You know what I mean? So like I feel bad.
You gotta help out.
My wife is like, so like you got like a max of 20 viewers right now. So like if you want to get up to 50 viewers, you probably should stream at night. So like 6 to 8 will be good, right? She looks at me. She's like 6 to 8 will be good, right? Like people are home from work. They ate dinner already. 6 to 8 will be good, right? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. She's like, well, you should try it. Like that's the support, though. You know what I mean? Like that's,
yeah.
We go through we've gone through all these phases as musicians. We all started out. You started out early. I was 13 when I started. So like, at 15 years old, we had, the girls. It's all about the girls. And like, oh my God, all these girls like me. And they're like, I'm 15 and they're like 40. And like my mom's
Even
in the
at
bar.
40, I still
Dude,
get excited.
like honestly, God, my mom's in the bar with me when I was 15 and like beating all these 40-year-old women off me that want to take me home. And they're like,
send them to me.
And they would yell at my mom. Like my mom would go, "Excuse me," and they would like be
That's
like,
my son.
And they would look at my mother and go, "Bitch, back off. This one's mine." Right? Like that. And my mom would go, "That's my son, and he's 15. Get away from him." Right? Like that would be my mom. Like that. But that's what I went through. Like, and it's funny, like how like I got to the point where I was like, when I got over 21 and I was just sick and tired of dealing with girls that only like me because of what I did. You know what I mean? And
best piece of wisdom I ever got as far as that goes is when you have the girl that is obviously into you because you're in a band,
right?
Especially the one that is out of your league that's into you because you're in a band. The only question you have to ask yourself is, who did she watch last night? What band did she see last night?
Right.
And if she was impressed by this,
yes,
then what did she think of Tim Boyer or Justin Smithson? Or
well,
Sean
my thing is that my wife and I, like, honest to God, my wife and I fell in love with each other when I was like playing at Glory Days. Like I was like 20 years old when my wife and I first met. And like we became best friends, and both didn't realize that we were in love with each other, which was the coolest thing in the world. You're hurting, aren't you?
I am. I'm
yeah,
good.
I know. You're due for another hydro.
Medicine, yeah.
So, like even back at Glory Days, like I had hair. I had like spiky hair, and like her favorite number was 22 because I used to wear this shirt when I was like really skinny, and I think that she still wears it to bed sometimes. It's like it's an American Eagle shirt, and it says Poser on the back with the number 22, and her favorite number is 22, just from way back when I used to wear that. You know what I mean? So like we were both in love with each other. Didn't actually profess our love to each other until like we were both divorced and over. Certainly, like we were both single. We finally could, get together or whatever. But like she knew how I was. You know what I mean? Like she had seen me out
Yeah.
When I played, like she knew I wasn't a womanizer. She knew that I didn't just hook up. You know what I mean? Like she knew how I was.
With women,
and so
yeah.
it was a really cool thing because
guys know the story, but women, yeah, you never did.
Right, but I could leave the house. You know, once we got married and stuff, I could leave the house, and she knows how I act at a show. She knows that I'm not out there trying to hook up. You know what I mean? Like, she knows how I am, especially now I'm going to be 40 this year. So
You're what?
That's right. Big party.
Dating
40.
yourself, bro. When's your birthday?
May 19th.
Oh, we're having a party. We are having a party that night.
We got to bounce, don't
When's
we?
your birthday?
August 25th.
Ooh.
Ah, you're an August baby. Me too. August 1st.
Nothing wrong with that.
Out of it.
August is a good month.
You're a Virgo, though.
I am.
Yeah.
23rd, I think, is the cutoff. Something.
Taurus, baby.
21st. You're a Taurus. We're having a big party for Justin on his 40th.
That's right.
And then you're going to turn what, 38?
Yep.
38, yeah.
Which is fucking weird.
It goes by so goddamn fast, brother. It
Bet it
really
does.
does. It goes
You
by
have
so
no
damn
idea.
fast. But gentlemen, I want to congratulate the both of you. Job well done. Gary, man, you so
Same to you,
deserve
brother.
this award, man.
Thank you, man.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Likewise.
Really do.
I
It's
appreciate
been a long time coming for you,
It
brother.
really has, man.
has.
It,
Absolutely.
Like, the acknowledgement is
We could say
so
that because
deserved.
we've only been on for a year. So, I mean, like, we're blessed to win this award after a year. But,
Seriously.
I mean, this kid's
If
been working his
anybody
fucking
deserves
balls
it,
off.
it really is
Hell
you,
yeah.
man.
I appreciate it.
It is
It's,
you. And I appreciate all the cross promo that you did for us and
My pleasure
everything.
entirely,
And
man.
it's like Wonder Twin Powers activate. And we all came
Right.
together and we helped each other out.
Yep.
And guess what? It freaking paid off.
Sure did.
It freaking
Now,
paid off.
so everybody watching this, Justin, Z was sitting where I am, and these guys were sitting here
Mm-hmm.
on the stream for the Sammys. And I didn't really have a place to go because, I'm not in my studio, so I just went on the opposite side of this curtain. So when they won, they're going crazy, and I'm in the waiting room for mine.
Yeah, because you were next.
So I was
Yeah,
next.
you were next.
And so I'm sitting there waiting to hear, and it's just nothing on my phone. And then I hear on these guys are like, "Oh my God, he won! He won! He won!" I'm
I'm
like,
trying to say it so quiet because I wanted to give him the surprise.
I'm
okay?
like,
right,
don't
right.
react, don't
Yeah,
react.
how did we get it first before you?
don't
I
know.
don't know how that
Listen,
happened.
okay, all of you at home, there was like, it was the weirdest thing. I mean, for
It
a
really
musician,
was the
for a
weirdest
musician, it's the worst thing in the world when you hear 5 different things coming at 5 different times.
Literally
There's
6
like
phones.
6 phones
phones
on,
around.
and everybody's playing a different thing. And I'm like, please, somebody turn it down. We have
It's
one.
like the scenes in the movie
But
where
like,
all the faces
all of
are
a sudden I
popping
hear,
out loud, like-
yeah, all of a sudden I hear, Gary, and I'm like, he won.
Right.
Yeah, so I didn't know what to do. And actually, Jeremiah, Young Silence just messaged me a second ago.
Oh,
Did
he
he
did?
really?
Congratulations. So
That's so
like I said,
awesome,
That's
dude.
so cool. Same thing with Mike. Mike congratulated us too, and he
Did he?
requested me. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
So we're
yeah.
gonna have him on the show really soon.
Yeah, please, let's do that.
But wow, awesome night. Awesome.
This was
night, guys.
absolutely awesome. And
I'm dying
and
right
never
now.
gonna
I'm not
forget
even
this.
on drugs, so I can say that.
I know, right?
I am, and I'm
gotta-
gonna love this.
I gotta say, Z, I gotta say,
Tylenol only tonight.
it's told me on my Facebook Live. Okay, I'm like on Facebook, like watching all the comments. I'm looking at this, and my wife has literally been watching at least 6 times.
Thank you.
Like it goes out, it's like
Thank you,
Jessica
Jessica.
Smithson is watching. Then like it'll be like a couple more comments. Jessica Smithson is watching. So I like texted her out there.
Reminding you, like, just so you know,
yeah,
she's watching.
Just so you know, your wife is watching.
She's
Wait, well, I gotta
watching.
go back to. I gotta
Trying
go
to
back
get
to
that celebratory sex, right?
Mike. I gotta go back to Mike
What is
Tiley.
that?
I don't know.
I know, right? I gotta go back to Mike Tiley. Fun Cosmo story. Doing their sound. I hand Fran a Shure 87 mic, flat top, windscreen. He uses it for sound check and says, "Do you have a mic with a round head?" Laugh out loud. Doesn't ask for a 58 instead of mic with a round head. Struck me funny.
I wouldn't doubt it for a second that he had
Wait.
he had dog ears. Like it would
Yeah.
be, he'd be like, "Gare, there's something plasticky about your guitar," and I'd like open up the sun hole, and there's like one pick in there. He's like, "Gare, take that out." Like
Take that pick out.
That's but it was you could not get anything past him. Like,
No.
like we'd be recording and the 80s style of recording is everything is double track. So
Right.
out of anything that I can do in my life, I can double track the best. I mean, I'm not the best lead player in the world and the best songwriter or singer, but I can whatever I play, I
Yeah.
can play it the same way over and over again.
Sure.
So I'd sit there and I'd be playing acoustic, which is on a mic, and I'd play the shake and I'd sit there and then I'd be done, and then we'd be talking and they'd be like, "Gary, I think you moved a little bit." I'm like, "No, I didn't." He's like, "Check your mark." I'm looking, it's like a centimeter off.
Yeah.
But enough to make a difference. I'm like, all right. you're
Amazing,
right.
yeah.
So, yeah, that's.
Mike Tiley again. Okay, and this is beautiful. Says, I remember Gary at Celtic Harp was drinking with Finelli and some friends, and Joe says to me, "These people have no idea how hard it is to do what Gary is doing and do it well." I thought that was a great compliment.
Yeah,
that is
true,
awesome,
though, bro.
It is so true. Like I tell you, the scariest gig I ever played in my life, ever played in my. Like, when did you tell me to play?
It was like a day.
A day. It was like a day notice. Okay, it was a day notice. He says, "We got this gig at Munson Williams with Dashboard. I need you to come fill in for me. Here's the songs." And like, I worked my ass off. I tried so hard, and I fucked up so bad that day. Like, he came and sang, and his hand was this big.
It was.
He got stung by a bee.
Oh, man.
He got stung by a bee, and it was so bad.
Actually, it was more embarrassing that it was a deer fly. It
was a deer fly?
Little.
Dear Lord.
Yeah, I can get stung by a bee. I'm fine. Little deer fly, harmless. Such an unassuming name. No,
Right.
fuck my world up.
Yep. But I legit at Munson Williams. I'm trying to play. I fucked up so bad that like Pat Orlowski looked at me like I was the worst thing that has ever happened to music in the history of ever. I mean, I'm telling you right now, the look that he would give me every time I messed up, and I messed up a lot because I tried so hard to just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's very hard to fill those shoes. I'm just telling you right now, it's very hard to fill those shoes.
Boy.
And no, I'm not
He's right,
doing
though.
this to be an asshole. I'm being serious. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, I'd be sitting there playing, and like I would hit the wrong note, and then I hit the wrong note again, and then all of a sudden I would get a tap on the shoulder. And Sammy goes, D flat. Like, okay. And I go, no. B. Okay, I got it. Like he would know when I messed up, and he would just like tap me.
Yeah.
He wasn't like, "What the fuck, dude? Play a fucking B."
Calling you out and shit.
Like he would just so like so nonchalantly just tap me and be like, "B minor."
But we did like 2 Harpoon shows after that. Like
We did, and they were great.
They were fun.
Great. They were
Like,
fun.
It's just, I mean,
They were fun. The Munson Williams gig was the worst gig I've ever played in my life, hands down. I've never played a worse gig in my entire life, ever.
It was a weird.
I
set
sang
list.
great.
You did.
I sang great.
I did.
I sang harmonies with you. It was great. I felt great vocally. Oh, never should have played guitar that gig. You probably should have hired Dave.
You played a Les Paul on that show.
Mm-hmm.
You played Jeff's Les Paul for a couple.
No, I played Ben's Les Paul.
Oh yeah.
I played Ben's Gold Top with the mini humbuckers.
Was that the one you got from Jeff Moore?
That was the one he got from Jeff, yeah. And then he sold to me.
Jeff's
and then I sold back to him.
Jeff's Tim's brother, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think I know that guy.
Yeah.
And Tim plays in that Ulterior Motive band, right?
Yeah.
He's he won.
I thought he was in
Culprit.
Culprit.
Yeah. I know that guy.
Boneslaw.
Yeah. Boneslaw. No, that's Matt. That's Matt.
Oh, Matt was in
Matt Cadritis, right.
Right. Yeah, he's the talented guy.
He really is the talent in that band. He's angry, but he's talented.
That Moyer kid, though. Jeff's super talented, but Tim, he's a little sketchy.
He is. You know. He's more worried about what he looks like.
Yeah, I don't know. Him and his wardrobe.
Yeah.
But on that note, fellas, guys, this has been awesome.
Love you guys.
I love you too, Gary. Thanks again so much.
What a great show this has been.
I can't stop smiling.
We've been on for like 2 hours. It's great.
I can't stop
This is the longest
smiling.
local music Monday ever done on a Friday.
You're never coming back again, Gary.
Yeah, you are.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
we should add him in. We got to add another seat now. So we have Gary talk to everybody.
Seriously,
he's become part of the party.
That asshole talked about Frank Osmo for like 35 minutes.
Oh, that was great. You kidding me?
It was awesome, man.
It was awesome. But congratulations, bro.
Yeah,
you guys too. Congrats. I'm psyched. I'm not kidding. And I'll drive out to Syracuse and pick up your shit and bring it back. I'm halfway there. So
make sure you tell him that I need one too.
I will.
Yeah, I'm buying you yours.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
I want two.
Absolutely not.
I want 2 of them.
I want 2 of them. Right.
I do. I just want one to keep in my studio. You know. Look, one needs to be there over on the awards section over there. One needs to be there.
Yeah, and then one needs to be...
Is this the first Sammy that this Russian network has ever won?
It's the first Sammy that anybody from Utica has ever won. No, I'm kidding.
That's not true.
Bob Aquaviva was one.
Oh, yeah,
He's
Bob.
won a couple, actually.
Yeah,
and Nine Ball
sure.
won, too, actually.
Nine Ball, yep.
Yeah, so, but, yes, not too many Uticans win the Sammy.
I saw Scott Henderson, by the way, last night.
Yeah?
Him and Sheila were out last night.
Did he grab your penis?
To see poor Tim play at Dick Smith's.
Okay.
And they came out. They went to watch Max play first, and then Max, Kelly, and Scott and Sheila all came back to Dick's to watch it, which was cool. It was cool. And I got Kelly and Max up to play, and Scott was talking to me. He was like, man, he was like, wouldn't it be good if we could just keep playing like 8 to 11? I'm like, dude,
right?
I would fucking love to play 8 to 11. That'd be great. And he's like, yeah. He goes, then I talked to Sweezy. Tim Sweezy, who used to own the Broken Egg, which was the greatest after-hours breakfast place ever. But anyway, Sweezy owns the Village Pub in Yorkville now. Okay, and so he's talking to Sweezy. He's like, "Yeah, man, 8 to 11 would be great." He goes, "Yeah, the problem is though, is that 12 to 2 is when everybody buys shots. So you figure by like 8 to 11 or 12, everybody's drinking beer. You know, they're getting hanging out with people and whatever. And by 12 o'clock, they're like, let's just fucking bang shots. Let's do this bang shot.
We're about to bang shots in a second.
Yeah, everybody, every single person is like, cheers. Oh, it's 12 o'clock. Cheers. Everybody, like, it's 12 o'clock. Let's just do shots. You know what I mean? So, like, everybody's spending $65 from 12 to 2. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like, that's why, now when we can only stay open until 11, everybody's banging shots from 9 to 11. So, I mean, they're still making the money, but it's just, whatever. But we could never do that. Unless it's outside.
Yeah.
Coming soon, though, bro. It's coming soon. And then let me tell you, once this
coming soon, Local Music Monday Music Fest.
Absolutely. And once this Corona coaster is over and the ride has stopped and we're going to have a Burning the Mask party, we're going to have a Burning the Mask festival.
I can't wait
and
to
I'm going to have Gary Johnson and Gridley Page and Showtime and Poor Tim and fucking Motor Lord and all of them. They're all coming,
I want to move us all to Texas right now because it's over in Texas right now.
Right?
It's
or Florida.
Or
it's Vegas.
Over. No, but Texas literally lifted everything. 100% back to normal. No masks, no nothing. Back to number 100%. Let's go.
It'll be back soon.
All right.
Definitely will be
In the meantime, who do we got Monday?
Monday, we're doing a tribute to Freddie Pepperano.
That's exactly right, everybody. Yeah. So, come on and share your stories about Freddie, please. Because there's plenty. And
so many,
there are so many stories about Freddie.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to interrupt. I never really met Freddie. I mean, we knew of each other.
Yep.
This summer, well, it must have been this summer. No, last summer. Either way. When did he pass away?
December. Right?
Yeah.
December.
This year, right? So it was a couple years. So it was this past summer. I was at Harpoons with my wife and daughters, and walking through, and I walked by him. I kind of caught his eye, and he goes, "You're Gary, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." Said I didn't want to interrupt you. You're sitting down. Yeah. He goes, "I just gotta say." He goes, "It's so cool to me." He goes, "You got a beautiful family." I'm like, "Thank you so much." He's like, "Those little girls are so beautiful." He's like, "I see you post about them on Facebook." He's like, "Just so nice to meet you and you in person." I'm like, "Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I've watched you for years, And it was just the sweetest. And that was the whole. It was like
that's Freddie though. That
90-second interaction. I was like, "What a sweetheart of a guy."
Yeah.
And that was it. It was
that's what he was.
Very cool. So
he had no it was so funny because he always used to wear the sunglasses and do his thing, and he was. I swear to God, I tell everybody this from the beginning that he was the one that invented Raise the Roof.
Yeah, you said that. You said that on Local Music Monday last time.
He was the one that invented Raise the Roof. Like, he was the one that did that. He did that in 1994 when we played at the Music Man in Marcy. Okay, I watched him do it. Okay, but anyway, as rock star as that guy looked, like, if you ever went to talk to him in person, he never had that persona.
I used to work at Bank in New York, and an entire department at the Globe Mills facility across from the brewery, an entire department went dressed up as Freddie one year.
No shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. How cool is that?
They were so awesome. There were like 8 or 9 guys, and every single one of them, and women, they all dressed up as Freddie one year. That was probably 2000.
Such an amazing person.
He really is, man. I'm looking forward to Monday's podcast for sure.
I am and I'm not. I like.
Yeah, I know. I hear
you. It's funny because I don't know if you guys could all latch onto this, but with Corona, where we haven't been able to go to funerals, we haven't been able to go to different things. Like Freddie passed away, and there was no closure for me. Mm-hmm. So I honestly feel like he's still here, and I'm just waiting for Kelly to be like, "Oh, let's do the Christmas CD again," and Freddie will show up with Papa Joe, and the three of us will be back together again. You know what I mean? I really don't think it's hit me yet, and I'm afraid that Monday I might break down. I'm just letting you guys know I might actually cry.
That's okay.
So
I'll probably be right with you, man, because I can be emotional as well.
Yeah, Freddie was such an amazing person. He really was. So anyway, let's end on a high note. So
WSYR just posted all the results on their website. Somebody just tagged me in it. and the winners are, and it's there we are, back to back, fellas. So
yeah, baby,
we're back to back, baby. And I love the fact that we went back to back too.
Oh my God, it was so great.
It was us, and then
I'm
you.
so glad
and
he did that.
And then we found out
And
that
like
you
Gary
won,
shouted out that he was at
incredible.
the studios with us. And I was like, yes.
It was so awesome. It was so awesome.
I didn't want to take away from any of it. I wanted to bum rush you so bad.
So the trick was everybody went for high fives, and I was like, wait, no,
hug me.
Don't touch my wrist. I'd rather get COVID. I would rather get COVID than you touch my wrist right now.
Yeah. Although I was like, dude, I'm doing my good hand, not thinking about my good hand's only 3 weeks post-op too.
Right.
Well, gentlemen, I don't think my bladder can handle it anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
But I love you both. And
we'll see you Monday. Freddie Pepperata.
Yes.
Freddie Pepperata tribute show.
Yes, on Monday for Local Music Monday. Tune back in the Disruption Network and as well. And Gary, you got anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
No.
No? Live streams or anything?
I got I'm surgery was on the 1st, so what's today, the 5th? So I'm 5 days post-op. Just getting my everything feeling going in my hands. My first official show is on the 13th at Turning Stone.
Cool.
Yeah, baby.
So, and then the following Thursday we'll be doing Dicks with Justin.
That's right.
Doing Dicks?
It's doing Dicks.
Okay.
Yep. Doing Dicks.
We're going down at Dicks on Dicks at Dicks.
We're going on Dicks.
A lot of Dicks.
At
going
Dicks.
on.
That's the Thursday.
So many Dicks.
That's St. Patrick's week, so that's the 8th.
There are a lot of Dicks on St. Patrick's Day.
So I'm gonna bring every uplight that I have. We're gonna make that place look like the frickin' leprechaun.
We should.
Up all over the place.
I really think that you should bring your keyboard and your guitar. Like, I really think that there are songs that I love.
If I can play guitar,
we need to talk about this, though, because I really think there are songs that you and I play that when you play keyboard on those songs, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and I will help you. I'll help you load in. How about that?
That is going to be necessary with this.
Yeah, I will help you load everything
will be
in.
the last thing, but
just bring both.
Man,
so that's and I appreciate
love him.
That. So we're that'll be the first show back, and then we have a duo show coming up at Fratello's.
We do
that weekend, I think. Maybe it's the 19th or something. So we got stuff coming up.
Let me tell you, hang on.
I'm getting back to work. I'll be live streaming. I'll be on Twitch as well.
The first Justin and Gary show at Fratello's is Friday, March 19th.
So we're doing that Thursday. We're doing Thursday, Friday that week.
Yeah, we are.
You and me.
I'm excited.
So, I'll have roadies in hand. So I'll be.
Thank you, Fran.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be loaded on Twitch pretty soon here. As soon as I'm fired up and ready to go.
I can't wait because we're all going to be all over you. You know that, Tim and I and Joe.
I love the sound of that. Can't wait.
All right, goodbye, everybody.
Guys, this has been awesome. We'll see you guys on Monday. Gary, congratulations. Justin, congratulations.
You too, Z. I love you, brother.
Congratulations. I love you too, man. And congratulations to all the winners out there in the Syracuse Area Music Awards. We'll see you again on Monday.
See you Monday.
Later.